One meet the strongest hunter on the planet, standing on stage to receive his grand honor. Millions watched him on national television, while fans eagerly bought up his branded merchandise. His close friend urged Kang Yusung to give a polite speech, promising him a special reward later. The entire room was packed with the country's most powerful and influential figures. But then the world's #1 hunter sighed and openly declared that he didn't care about the award. All he ever wanted was to make cold hard cash, leaving the entire crowd utterly speechless. Kang Yusung insists on living by his own rules, completely ignoring whatever society expects of him. Then the era of peace shattered. Suddenly, every ordinary person saw a strange system screen appear. The sky turned a dark crimson as massive, imposing towers began hovering high above the ground. These floating structures cast a shadow over the globe, and terrifying creatures began crawling out. Armies of monsters swarmed the streets, instantly hunting down terrified humans everywhere. One massive orc even lunged at a young girl, threatening to ruin her perfect makeup. But this was also the day the first true warrior stood up to fight back. Humans refused to go down easily, deciding that if life was a game, they would play it. Gifted individuals quickly stepped up, using their newly awakened abilities to defend the weak. The system announced harsh new rules, stating that all towers must be conquered immediately. If a tower broke open, the beasts inside would wipe out entire cities. The elite players rose to instant fame, praised for their immense strength and bravery. Yet the blunt attitude of their top hunter had just sent shockwaves across the globe. Back at home, our protagonist calmly scrolled through the endless online backlash against him. Former fans were absolutely baffled by his speech, wondering how their hero could be so greedy. Angry groups promised to boycott him entirely, tossing his branded merchandise straight into the trash. Looking out his window, Kang Yusung saw an entire army of reporters camping outside his gate. Instead of hiding, he decided to walk right out and give them some advice. He warned the crowd to pay attention to the immediate danger lurking right beside them. Nobody understood his warning until a massive, sudden tremor knocked everyone to the ground. And get this, they looked up to see the massive towers hovering over the city. With the break imminent, the dark structures slowly descended closer and closer to the streets. Everyone knew their mission was simple: storm the tower and save humanity from doom. But Kang Yusung remained completely unfazed, casually handing out flyers before walking away. Arriving at his chosen location, he quietly noted that the area was entirely clear. Just as he figured, the opening of the new season turned out to be peaceful. Suddenly, his system pinged, showing that the cosmic monarchs were thrilled by his actions. The powerful Iron Monarch was practically cackling, sending down a personal blessing. He laughed at a warrior who had so easily thrown away his own sword. Next, the Blizzard Monarch giggled, granting her cold favor to the mirror bearer. Kang Yusung simply shrugged, silently letting them have their fun as his screen buzzed. Instantly, his sword skill surged, and his magic capacity spiked to new heights. These massive bonuses were no accident, they were part of a bigger plan. Just like before, he was farming rewards from the gods watching his show. These ancient deities loved entertainment. Suddenly, a bright golden notification flared. The Golden Legend's monarch roared with laughter, bestowing a grand blessing upon him. This legendary status offered an insane list of powerful, completely broken buffs. Naturally, Kang Yusung wanted to claim every single one of those perks immediately. A chime rang out, confirming he had successfully locked in a legendary class. It is a sleek black cloak with a golden cross called Aureate Fanaticism. It boasts some insane stats, giving Kang Yusung a legendary defensive item. Plus a heroic rank skill and artifact, he is absolutely ready to climb. But then his system pops up with a wild alert: the Golden Legends. Monarch just revoked his divine blessing for the one who chooses legends. Instead, he blessed Kang Yusung's t-shirt business. Talk about a bizarre plot twist. Kang Yusung enters the tower and immediately runs into enemies. The place is crawling with Moonblood orcs. His mission is to smash the boss on the highest floor. Kang Yusung wonders if now is the perfect time to test his heroic rank. Skill: it has incredible attributes. He activates the frozen sword, boosting his ice compatibility even further, triggering a bonus effect called Cold Breath. He gives a quick nod to the Blizzard Monarch and unleashes his new power. Ice storms erupt, engulfing the orcs and freezing huge groups of them solid. They completely outnumber him, but they cannot even fight back. Kang Yusung freezes them solid and pushes forward as his system immediately flashes rewards. He absolutely crushes the first floor. He wonders if he will have to save the world again, next floor up. Kang Yusung arrives on the second floor and finds a massive orc horde setting. Up camp, suddenly an orc spots him. They roar that the warrior is here and will lead them to Valhalla. They are ready to fight and die with honor, but Kang Yusung tells them to wait. He is sending them straight to paradise. Soon after, the fight is completely over. He reaches the fourth floor, loving all the level ups. His only complaint is the lack of rest stops. Right then, a system alert flashes. Song of War guards are blocking the boss room. Kang Yusung thinks this is perfect. He can draw them all in and show them the real elite monster he is. Then, the Steel King blesses the Song of War guards. The orcs get a massive power boost and shout that Valhalla awaits them. They want to chase the warrior who will lead the way. Chanting an anthem of blood and steel, they charge. Kang Yusung notes his enemies are not giving him a single second to breathe, but he laughs it off. He attacks anyway. In the chaos, he spots something new. One enemy charges with pure fury, forcing Kang Yusung to back off briefly. Still, he fights back, relentless, but his attacks are barely doing enough damage. This guy must be an elite warrior with high resistance to ice. Kang Yusung pulls back to rethink his strategy. He needs a fatal blow, but he does not have the right skill for it. With his current stats, he is sitting in the semifinal class. The cherry on top is the frozen sword skill paired with his heroic artifact. Kang Yusung opens his inventory. He is not sure he can handle this item, though. The system warns of a massive risk involved in the process. Then the message changes, reminding him those who do not act cannot enter Valhalla. The enemies hurl their axes, and Kang Yusung stops hesitating. He activates his artifact, the Frozen Heart. Instantly, the raw essence of powerful ice magic surges, boosting his equipped skill cards and freezing everything. Kang has no interest in settling for scraps when there is a whole gold mine of loot waiting. His enemies scream that war is war, lunging forward with every ounce of their strength. But they never saw his ice armor coming, and his attacks are about to get way deadlier than ever. He crushes them effortlessly, leveling up right in the middle of the chaos. He is much stronger now. He uses his ice sword. Every hit is blocked. Target frozen mid-battle. Some of their weapons shatter instantly under his relentless pressure. Every kill boosts his level. The furious orcs keep charging, but it does not matter. Kang strikes back with massive force, throwing them backward before summoning a variety of different ice weapons. One shocked enemy spots this, but before he can even blink, Kang finishes him. His speed is insane. They can barely even see him move. He confidently declares this floor cleared, muttering that the system stats were completely wrong. With only one orc left, he delivers the final blow, wiping out all his enemies. Leveling up once again, his system flashes to award him a random skill card pack. Along with that, he gets 1,000 conquest points. The new skill is called Stab. Kang is not thrilled, but it is better than nothing, so he quickly equips it. The effects shoot up instantly. On the next floor, a girl is shocked he survived. Kang apologizes for not dying, but she laughs it off. After all, dead clients cannot buy anything. She operates a massive automatic merchant called the Mechanical Equipment King. She urges him to spend his hard-earned points before he gets himself killed. So he asks to see the shop list. She immediately hypes up a legendary pack. The girl promises a jackpot, but Kang ignores her, buying speed and fire potions first. The girl keeps aggressively pushing those card packs on him, but it is not working. Kang completely ignores her and walks away, finally arriving at the boss's floor. The giant enemy demands to know if this is war, telling Kang to fight with honor and perish. As the boss lunges, Kang casts a magic shield, wondering if his previous fights were easy. He quickly tosses a fire potion to engulf the giant enemy in blazing heat. The flames engulf the beast, but it is not enough. The boss bursts right through. But Kang declares that this is far from over, slashing with powerful freezing strikes. He pierces the boss straight through, ending the fight with a single lethal blow. Kang proudly notes how his blessing makes even basic skills incredibly overpowered, but suddenly, he realizes the fight is not done. The boss stands, activating a dangerous berserk mode. Kang just scoffs. It is too easy, not fun at all for him. The boss roars, promising to end him, which only makes Kang even more deeply irritated. And trust me, that incoming shockwave could be lethal, but only if it connects. The beast attacks with fury, but Kang easily slides out of harm's way with agility. No matter how fast the boss swings, Kang effortlessly slips past every single strike. All the while, he is quietly counting down the seconds of a secret mental timer. Once it hits 0, he whispers that the time has come, chugging another potion. Kang utterly obliterates the boss in a single moment, clearing the final floor. His system congratulates him on the victory, gifting him a special package of skill cards. He is recognized as the very first conqueror of this tower. Kang admits it is. Almost scary how smoothly things are going, he unpacks his reward, already guessing that it won't be anything amazing. Sure enough, the first card is common. It is total garbage. He tosses it aside. Moving on, Kang sets his sights on the tower of the demon-worshipping imps. Enemies spot him and swarm together, ready to strike. Kang just stands there, completely unfazed. He waits for the crowd to draw near before unleashing a massive wave of absolute zero ice. It freezes almost everyone. He is just having fun grinding his skill levels. Wave 1 is history in seconds, and a fresh round of monsters immediately spawns. Even more imps show up, but Kang finds them completely insignificant. He casually warns them they will not pose any real challenge. True to his word, his devastating ice magic absolutely obliterates every last target. His ice magic is leveling up at lightning speed. Suddenly, the system alerts flash. A regional boss appeared. The heretic imp boss starts bragging instantly. He claims he will offer Kang's blood to the Demon King, ordering his minions to charge. The small fry rush forward only to get wiped out instantly. Kang's cold magic is just too overwhelming. Nothing they try works. The system confirms the boss has the icy status effect. This giant target arrived at the absolute perfect moment for Kang to test a theory. Right on cue, the system alerts him to an incredible passive enhancement. Glacial Synergy Reinforcement has boosted both the total amount and variety of ice weapons. Now he can conjure an even more diverse arsenal of freezing armaments than ever before. Eager to try this out, he immediately conjures a massive storm of sharp ice spears. He launches the volley directly at the remaining enemies. These poor imps never stood a chance. They are completely helpless now, nothing more than target practice for his new toy. Showing no mercy, he sweeps the floor and grabs some sweet rewards. He gets an equipment ticket, but it is useless since he already has legendary gear. But as he looks over his stats, he spots something that changes the game. His frozen blade retains its maximum durability, no matter how many times he divides the weapon. 8 blades feel normal for now, but get this, the system suddenly interrupts him. The prompt tells him to greet his shadow. It seems a major power is watching him. Mysterious Tower faction has taken a serious interest in his combat performance. After getting the details on this secretive cabal, he is transported directly to their chamber. He finds himself standing before the Dark Council, where the leader recognizes him immediately. The leader asks if Kang wants to embrace his shadow and join their secret whispers. Kang acts interested, stating he would join, but points out they have way too many enemies. Countless rival factions are actively hunting this council down, after all. The leader promises a veil will cover him, asking if he has forgotten their dark power. No way, Kang replies. He only brought it up because he knows exactly how it works. Realizing simple conversation is pointless, he decides it is time to start negotiating. He makes his move. Kang demands they hand over a rare shadow beast right now. And if they want a deal, they might as well throw in a rare dark ability card. The shadow leader warns him against greed, reminding him that a mortal life is fleeting. Kang fires right back, saying there is absolutely no way he can cooperate with them. After doing so much for them, they refuse to return the favor. He declares they are done, but the leader will not let him leave. Grudgingly, the ancient figure yields to Kang's outrageous demands to seal the deal. Immediately, the system confirms his rewards. He officially owns a new Shadow Beast companion. He even gets a cat adoption achievement, alongside 100,000 points. Kang is used to crazy rewards by now, but hold on, that was only part 1. He's still waiting on that incredibly rare Shadow skill card to complete the transaction. With the card accepted, Kang joins the Dark Council, instantly shooting his affinity with them up. Leaving the council, he starts thinking this season is going to be epic. He should absolutely keep pushing forward while his luck is on a major roll. Or maybe he should stop now while he is feeling great and focus on recovering. As these thoughts swirl, someone suddenly calls out to him. Kang sighs, bracing himself for whatever is coming next. They swarm him for an interview, having already caught wind of his achievements. But since Kang is completely exhausted from his battles, he just wants to rest. He feeds them vague answers while the reporters keep pushing. They press him on his latest moves, mentioning this season's race is getting super intense. Kang simply asks how many people were actually involved in that fight. They tell him it was 5 veterans from the Chinese Party Guild, led by the Swordmaster. But 4 players died in that clash, prompting Kang to immediately counter. He says that guy sounds more like a shieldmaster since he used human shields. The reporters wonder if he is trying to provoke a dangerous enemy with such a comment. Kang just asks how many people the legendary Swordmaster actually brought along. When they reveal the warrior came alone, Kang declares he must have been full of energy. But secretly, he thinks it is pretty dumb to jump into the race this early. After all, everyone knows the Saint is busy hoarding powerful skills and items first. Plus, the Gravedigger has not even joined the race, focusing on Tier 4 items instead. When the reporters ask for his thoughts, Kang has a very simple answer. He calls the warrior crazy, making them assume he is not planning to compete. But then he drops a major bombshell, confessing that he is actually pretty crazy too. If he has to choose between being a winning or losing lunatic, he wants to win. Then he asks if anyone can help him reach the Tier 5 tower immediately. Before long, Kang finds himself alone, muttering that only one obstacle remains in his way. He quickly notices that a ton of people are betting heavily on his glorious victory. For Kang, this is no longer just a simple battle of pride. He knows the Swordmaster is probably already inside, so he prepares to enter the tower. The system immediately pops up, showing his mission for the Cavalli's empire. He must choose between them, fighting for the side he believes is truly just. He quickly realizes the Cavalli's empire is nothing but a faction of brutal, power-hungry imperialists. Naturally, he prefers the Rhodia kingdom anyway, since underdogs get the best rewards. So he firmly locks in his choice for the Rhodia kingdom and heads straight in. Landing straight by the palace fountain, he instantly draws the attention of the locals. They freak out with joy, shouting that a savior has finally arrived to help. But as Kang steps into the strategic planning room, his expression instantly turns sour. Looking at their terrible gear, he walks closer and asks who is in charge here. Silence, then an arrogant man steps forward, angrily calling Kang completely insolent. He demands absolute respect for royal laws, especially in front of the mighty Lord Muta. That is Lord Muta Duchamp, the proud commander of the elite Duchamp Marasat. Kang looks him dead in the eye, asking if they actually expect to win this. The commander confidently boasts that they will, despite their severely limited resources. He boasts that his mental strength is absolute, knowing no boundaries or limitations. His men supposedly possess the boundless willpower of hundreds of ordinary citizens. Kang couldn't stand hearing such complete nonsense. He punched the man, declaring that he would give all the orders from now on. Surprisingly, the other men seemed quite satisfied. They hadn't been happy with their previous leader anyway. After the meeting, Kang recruited 5,000 commoners for the infantry. Around 900 of these new recruits knew how to shoot. This was a massive difference compared to the empires. Disciplined soldiers, the only bright spot in this absolute mess was that in this world there were no personal grudges or magic. Plus, the Swordmaster wasn't just some player who relied on sheer brute force. He was the actual apostle of the Iron Monarch. Normally, regular player could only contract with one monarch, and only that monarch could give them any rewards, but Kang was special, receiving gifts from multiple different monarchs. This was all thanks to the clown monarch, who turned him into this incredibly unique player. While a monarch can have many players, only one single person holds the title of apostle. That chosen player is heavily favored by their lord. Monarch will go all out to support their apostle, though there are always some clear restrictions. For the Swordmaster, abilities linked directly to the Iron Monarch couldn't be used as a main attack. Because of this, Kang didn't think this fight would be too bad, but the regular soldiers faced a completely different kind of pressure. You never truly know how much of this tower is actually real. It is impossible to tell if these people are truly alive or just virtual beings generated inside. Either way, there was absolutely nothing he could do about it. He just needed to find a quick way to boost morale. Right before the clash, the soldier leader announced a prestigious visitor had arrived in the kingdom of Roya. He also declared Muta Duchamp was dismissed as commander and Kang himself would now lead them. The soldiers quickly realized their incompetent leader was gone, seeing this as an incredibly positive sign. Just this news alone lifted their spirits. Talk about an instant mood booster. Kang realized he had worried for nothing, but then their behavior suddenly shifted. 1. of them reported that the Empire had launched an attack, forcing the archers to immediately prepare their bows and rain arrows down on the enemies. An archer reported that the Imperial Army's heavy offense was pressing hard against the front gates. He added that stopping them there would break their momentum. Kang decided that Dart Beast was way too clumsy a name and suggested calling it Blackie instead. Standing next to his pet, he told the beast to show off its skills. The enemies wondered what on earth they were. Seeing they noticed a massive dark shape on the castle walls, their leader warned them not to break formation no matter what, but then he spots something strange. Before he can react, Blackie lunges forward, crashing into the enemy. The entire army freaks out and tries to flee. Their leader screams to forget the castle and just run, but before anyone can move, everyone completely freezes in place. Kang jokes that Blackie is super hungry and it's feeding time. The dark beast then devours everything in its path. Meanwhile, the remaining enemy forces keep fighting Roya's men from the walls, while Kang keeps attacking from a distance. Then he realizes the enemy swordmaster isn't even there. He explains that a player revealing themselves helps allies, but also reveals their exact position to enemies. Still, this isn't a fight to the death. Just like any game, this tower runs on strict rules. Lose a fight and you are simply thrown out, leaving your raid as a total failure. Players cannot actually kill each other inside, but the tower itself certainly can. Kang believes he won't die in here, but losing is still not an option. He begins reading his opponent's strategy. His allies got a massive morale boost, but victory is not guaranteed. Time passes. The battle is almost finished, but the main boss is still a no-show. Kang wonders if this guy is waiting for everyone else to die first. Suddenly, things take a wild turn. The swords of fallen soldiers begin floating on their own. Roya's army is completely baffled, but Kang instantly knows what is happening. He realizes this is the rival player's move, wondering how they got a heroic rank skill card. He figures it is either pure luck or maybe the Monarch himself handed them this power. Kang is suddenly attacked but easily dodges. He realizes his opponent has been preparing this entire time, but Kang is also not the type to sit around waiting for an ambush. It is way too late for his rival now because his own level up is complete. Suddenly, more enemy soldiers appear, and Kang realizes that every single one of them is targeting him. Talk about an absolute circus. The battlefield is a game now, but that won't beat him. He points out that the more swords there are, the less precise they're. Kang quickly summons a magic shield, protecting him from the incoming blades. He warns that if they want to win, they must try way harder than that. Then he spots something rushing straight for him. He instantly realizes his true rival has finally arrived. Right on cue, his system blares an alert. The Archangel's shield has just reflected the enemy's heavy attack. The reflection creates a blinding burst of light for his foe, and the shield shatters into pieces. Kang sarcastically asks if his opponent really thought he could capture the fortress using only basic sword manipulation. Rival has absolutely no idea how to respond. He simply asks what winning here actually means. The adversary declares that even if this fortress falls and everyone in the kingdom dies, the Empire cannot truly win without defeating Kang. Kang points out that his opponent knew this all along, yet chose this exact path, so Kang asks if he honestly believes he can win. His opponent firmly agrees, claiming that a player is a hero whose job is to protect the world. He argues that a bully ignoring this duty is unfit to be the hero king. Honestly, who wouldn't laugh at Kang applauding this emotional speech? Kang asks if his own guild members are excluded from that protected world. The adversary is absolutely furious. He snarls that Kang will not get a beautiful death. Kang calmly replies that he plans to live much longer, wondering why his rival is so angry. Their direct duel ignites right then with Kang attacking with everything he has. Kang declares his opponent's talents are weak and unfinished. The adversary suddenly realizes Kang is not fighting this battle alone. After seeing Dodge's dark beast, he realizes that the Monarchs are watching. He knows Kang is not foolish enough to hold back and lose the victory. Kang replies that is not quite the case, asking why things had to end up this way. His rival snaps back, calling Kang cheap and accusing him of using words to exploit psychological weaknesses. But Kang, he soon realizes he is being completely ignored. The adversary watches Kang walk away and demands to know his plan. Then a freezing realization strikes him about Kang's actions from the start, revealing his presence immediately. Instead of hiding like his enemy did, was never meant to inspire anyone. It was designed to bait out every opponent. Frantic, his enemy tries to pursue Kang, desperately hoping to stop his scheme. Meanwhile, inside the Imperial Command Center, the commanding officer is frantically discussing how to destroy the absolute monster they are facing. He snaps, furiously demanding immediate action. They try to calm him down, but too late. Kang is already right there. Kang calmly points out that winning a match never relies on just one strategy. The troops freeze in sheer shock at the player standing there, wondering if their gods have completely abandoned them. They must protect Duke Barmit at all costs. But they have absolutely zero chance. Kang tears through them with terrifying speed until a fresh opponent steps up. The rival player watches Kang casually slaughter the Imperial soldiers, utterly loathing every second of what he sees. Kang notes that his opponent should have stripped those officers to hide them. Right among the common grunts, he remarks that all he needs to do is stop the Empire's advance, which his opponent surely figured out. Kang's rival completely snaps in rage. Suddenly, Kang's system alerts him that the palace assault is finished, the core leadership is dead, and the remaining army has scattered. His rival is still screaming for blood, but Kang only cares about his quest reward. As the screen presents his choices, Kang mockingly thanks his adversary for this golden opportunity. He casually mocks him while the desperate rival promises brutal revenge. Kang just wants his loot and selects sword manipulation, which unlocks steel synergy. This handy power buffs all metal attribute cards and abilities. His opponent screams this is not over, but Kang could not care less. He just disconnects, leaving the guy ranting to empty air. Back in reality, Kang does not look pleased. Suddenly, a monarch asks him through his interface if he wishes to be a savior. Kang realizes he always relives this memory, always making the exact same choice. The entity warns him that he will become an unmatched hero, but nobody will ever truly understand him. Instead, he will just be branded a massive joke and absolute laughingstock. The monarch remarks that nothing could be more tragic, yet incredibly hilarious. Kang knows this haunting dream is repeated countless times now. This powerful entity known as Clown struck a deal with him, and his life has gone exactly as predicted. The following morning, Kang wakes up to his phone loudly ringing. He checks the screen to find 4 missed calls, while someone is violently banging on his door. He was just pondering why his dream felt so vivid, but now he is wondering who is making all this noise so early. He opens it to find the general manager. Kang asks what brings such a massive big shot to his place. This is Park Tak, also known as Master Park. He warns Kang about getting too cocky just because he went a bit easy on him. Park is a top 30 player who made a pact with the Monarch of Assassins. Everyone knows him as the feared Deadly Blade. He also runs the National Intelligence Agency, taking direct orders from the Blue House. Kang looks at him up close, noting how exhausted he looks, and asks if he was running around like crazy on day one. Park tells him he has zero time for jokes and starts explaining. Since day one, warmongers worldwide are pushing players to the front lines. They are unleashing a massive wave of absolute destruction everywhere. He also asks Kang why he did not answer his phone, since the sun has been up for hours. Kang simply says he was sleeping. Park immediately complains about his messy lifestyle. Ironically, Park then trips over some trash and faceplants right onto the floor. He gets angry, telling Kang to clean up his life instead of just selling King Hero t-shirts. Kang feels pretty embarrassed. Park jokingly remarks that with his lifestyle, he seems more like a son of darkness, wondering why Kang still eats at that same spot. He eats at the local restaurant 3 times a day, especially after making good money. Kang simply says he likes the food, making Park want to try it. He wants to try it someday. Kang then starts reflecting on his history with the manager. Their story goes way back, starting long before the world suddenly transformed into a game. At just 15 years old, Kang was already a highly respected, well-known player. The local internet cafe where he practically lived got to witness his absolute genius firsthand. The cafe manager, Park Tashik, thought Kang was incredible and urged him to turn professional. Kang only played for fun back then, but the manager convinced his parents. He offered to personally guide Kang, helping him develop his insane talent. By the time Kang turned 18, he was fully prepared for his official debut. But then the first season hit, bringing a brutal end to peace and triggering their first tower break. Just like everyone else, Kang was absolutely terrified as the world collapsed around him. He witnessed pure horror firsthand, nearly dying after being attacked by one of those vile creatures. Luckily, someone was there to protect him. Manager Park stepped in and fought back fiercely. He took down the beast, giving both of them a precious chance to escape. But the tragedy did not end there. That very same day, Kang lost both of his parents. Left completely alone in the world, Manager Park became his savior and only hero. That was the start of their deep, unbreakable bond that lasts to this very day. Back in the present, Kang asks what Park is doing at his house. Park is there because of the association. Kang asks if they still want something. The KAC is the nation's only official player guild. They wield absolute power, controlling and managing every single active player. Park asks Kang if he is aware of the new academy they built last season. Kang calls it their slave factory, and Park grimly agrees. The first graduation exam is coming up in a week, and they want Kang to attend. Park figures Kang will refuse, telling him not to stress over this sort of stuff. But get this, Kang actually agrees, wanting to see the new recruits. He wants to check out the future of their nation, but there is one major condition. He demands the association reschedule the exam to 5 o'clock the very next morning. The next day, with only 5 minutes left, the academy hall is already completely packed. One student recognizes Kang, realizing he is there to evaluate them. Another student scoffs, figuring everyone will graduate anyway. He hates the early start, calling Kang arrogant for choosing this ridiculous hour. Soon, the president of the academy asks Kang what he thinks of his students. Kang bluntly declares they have been bobbied from the start. Lee Sinango looks a bit embarrassed, politely asking Kang to evaluate them carefully. Kang simply repeats his absolute conditions. Kang decides to test their strength himself, making him the ultimate judge. Their graduation lies entirely in his hands, even facing Kang's smug attitude. The president willingly allows him to do absolutely whatever he wants in the test. The president thinks his plan is absolutely flawless since the recruits are talented. There is simply no way even King Kang can mess this up, but then everything shifts. Leono's elite confidence completely shatters. He watches his prized students get absolutely demolished by Kang, total obliteration. With everyone defeated, Kang stands before a sobbing, defenseless girl. Shockingly, he tells her she passed. She cannot believe her ears. He shrugs and says it was pure luck. Out of 12, she survived. Kang warns her that for any high-tier hunter, luck is everything. That is all for now. He congratulates her on her graduation. He orders the cameras cut. Immediately, a furious director storms in. The director demands answers, but Kang catches him off guard. Kang reveals he saw right through their rotten plans. Every single recruit here has powerful family ties inside the association. He knew he was only called to collect their combat data. But the director's true goal is far more sinister. He wants failed rankers to use as his personal hunting dogs. Kang blasts the corrupt group, which deeply enrages the president. Liango snaps back, calling Kang an arrogant brat who knows nothing. He sneers that Kang is not a real hero just because people say so. Players are merely weapons of war for their nations, nothing more. In this brutal era, what they truly need is a real war hero. The president demands that Kang understand their position and finally cooperate. Kang merely shrugs them off, privately mocking their complete and utter ignorance. Suddenly, a panicked assistant rushes up to the president with urgent news. When Lee Sinango hears it, he freaks. Kang just smirks. The entire player academy is shutting down after barely a single year. A leaked video has exposed all their darkest secrets. The National Intelligence Chief backed Kang up, securing the footage. Now the president's reputation is in absolute ruins. Lee Ango is livid. Kang smugly activates his provocation skill to trigger him further. Suddenly his system alerts him. The clown is thrilled. Highly amused by the chaos, the clown grants him a reward. With that, Kang makes his exit and warmly thanks his intelligence contact. He asks if the government is really okay with this. The contact confirms they hate the association anyway. Both powerful factions are constantly locking horns for control. Kang absolutely loves this drama. He asks to be dropped off at the tower. Specifically, he wants to go right to the Tier 5 tower, shortly after he arrives. His system quickly warns him of a grueling hot and cold desert journey ahead. In a flash, he teleports in. Vicious monsters are slaughtering locals. Kang notes that players always arrive right in the nick of time. It is the perfect setup to play the glorious savior. Their sudden appearance makes them look like total legends to the locals. Then Kang crashes down, absolutely crushing the enemies. Immediately, the natives see him as their only hope. He tells them to call him whatever they want. The villagers view Kang as a priest of light, a divine messenger bringing hope. Them real hope, but Kang cannot shake a pretty bad feeling about everything. He asks if any threats exist beyond these monsters, and the others assure him they are in Divine Kingdom territory, meaning heretics are not an issue. But then they reveal it will take 3 whole days to reach their destination. Kang is definitely not happy, instantly regretting rushing in without resting first. Even so, he tells everyone to sleep. He will handle any incoming monsters without any issue. The men thank him and Kang puts on his vitality necklace to boost his health recovery. He also decides to open the gift from his monarch. Inside, he finds a superior rank grove stone. He is actually pretty impressed to finally get something decent from them. But he does not need it yet, stashing it away. Suddenly, giant scorpions head his way. Time to summon Blackie, who immediately jumps into the action. Kang finds this incredibly annoying, but he knows he cannot just let his familiar do all the work, attacking from afar. Using his mind-controlled blade, he realizes just how incredibly useful this is. After easily clearing out the scorpions, Kang levels up, even. His sword manipulation skill card gets a nice boost, but wait, more enemies appear. Seriously, can this guy catch a break? A giant sand predator emerges. Sleeping tonight, still, he remains calm, trusting Blackie to handle things. While his dark beast does the heavy lifting, Kang rains down attacks from afar, piercing the giant worm with his mind-controlled weapons. Kang barely even moves a muscle, while his weapons do all the work. He finishes off the predator easily with ice, which also levels up his ice traits. As dawn finally breaks, they set out toward their destination. Suddenly, Kang spots a fleet of knights, wondering if they are allies. One ally explains that these are brave warriors serving the light god. Kang immediately asks why they did not help last night, and his ally explains that these knights prioritize protecting their cargo, guarding it with their lives. Kang then asks about this specific knight faction. They are the honored knights of the Order of the Bloody Cross. Kang shoots back sarcastically, wondering if they are hiding a golden calf or something super important in that carriage. The leader tells Kang to forget the carriage and focus on his assigned task. Kang instantly realizes these guys are using rare aura heart skills. They even got the light apostle involved, making him incredibly curious about it. He wonders what could possibly be hidden inside that heavy carriage. His bold attitude makes one of his allies look pretty embarrassed. But Kang suddenly yanks him close. He has spotted an incoming arrow, shouting for everyone to get down if they want to live. A rain of arrows pours down as everyone scrambles for cover. One ally screams about a heretic attack, completely shocked they would dare. Crossing into Divine Kingdom territory, the enemies kept pushing. Kang watched closely. He wondered how the knights would react. Suddenly, their leader barked out orders. He screamed at his men, ordering them not to let the cargo fall into enemy hands, no matter what. Aura shields up. Instantly, Kang realized something. These knights did not care about their allies. They only wanted to protect the cargo. They had to protect their precious golden calf. Just then, Kang received a system alert. His quest was to protect the caravan. Kang immediately prepared for battle. He launched a flurry of long-distance attacks. A nearby heretic scoffed at him. He mocked that the strikes would miss, but then noticed Kang was aiming elsewhere. Suddenly, an explosion erupted from beneath, blasting the heretic clean off his horse. Before anyone could react, Kang materialized right above his targets. Just as he prepared to strike, he noticed their strange faces. They were desert elves. Instantly, everything changed. Instead of attacking, he decided to shield the elves, but they did not appreciate the gesture. The downed elf leaped back up, immediately slashing at Kang. Kang easily blocked it. While parrying, he calmly demanded to know what was hidden inside the caravan. The hostile elf figured it was a trick and refused to say a word. Instead, he warned his comrades to ignore the intruder entirely. He ordered them to fire without mercy, and a storm of arrows rained down. Kang quickly cast a magic barrier, sheltering both himself and the stubborn elf. The warrior spat back that he would never talk, even if captured. He shrugged it off. He just wanted to know what the cargo was. That simple answer would help him choose whose side he should actually join. He made it clear they were only breathing because he allowed it, ice cold. Wiping them out would be effortless, and to prove it, he flexed his power. The sheer display of his magic power stunned every single elf. A single move meant death. He demanded the truth once more. Finally, the trembling elf cracked, admitting there was no treasure inside. Just Princess Syria, realizing she was kidnapped, Kang gave them a choice. He told the warrior to head back and report that he was letting them live. The elf hesitated, prompting Kang to deliver one last, chilling warning. Leave now or die on the spot. Terrified, the elves scrambled and fled the area. Immediately, an angry knight stepped forward to demand why he let them go. Kang casually dismissed him, stating he just needed to double-check something first. Completely ignoring the man, he walked straight toward the locked carriage. Instantly, a blade blocked his path as the knight barked a warning. Nobody, not even the Apostle of Light, was allowed near the carriage. Kang simply summoned his dark beast, warning the knight to back off immediately. The threat worked. He reached the carriage and threw the doors wide open. He peered inside, casually asking the captive if she needed a hand. Sitting there was indeed Princess Syria of Ob, but she looked furious. She spat that she did not want sympathy from a filthy heretic. Right then, Kang's system flared to life, warning him of a penalty. The Monarch of Light was watching his moves, but Kang did not care. He had no choice. He openly defied the system, shattering her chains. He rescued the princess, earning a hidden achievement and 300,000 conquest points. But there is a catch. The objective instantly updates. The difficulty skyrockets. Kang laughs, saying the game is over. He is enjoying this freedom, but his system immediately snaps back. It warns him that he will pay for defying the light. Now one of the tower's own forces is coming for his head. Sentinels of light materialize in the sky, ready to strike on command. On the ground, the knight leader screams that the apostle has been corrupted. He doesn't care who Kang is. Defying the light makes him a dead heretic. Kang just scoffs. These guys only act tough when they have backup. He tells the princess not to worry because he brought some friends, too. The system confirms it. He has the Shadow Monarch's support. Now the light will fade, and absolute darkness will take over. And check this out, the Dark Council drops a massive buff. The curtain of absolute darkness, it completely blinds the enemy knights. Their vision is totally distorted, as shadow covers the entire battlefield. Kang knew that siding with the darkness would yield much better rewards. Now the knights cannot see the lethal strikes coming from the shadows. They get taken down one by one. Up high, the light heralds watch helpless. That is, until one of them blasts a path open with pure holy light. They can finally see the slaughter of their allies below. They are absolutely furious, but before they can even process the shock, Kang strikes them down without hesitation. The heralds are completely stunned. How dare a mere mortal attack them? The system alerts him of his new status. The Sentinels of Light now hold permanent, irreversible hatred toward him. But his overall standing with the Dark Council has completely skyrocketed. Kang levels up, feeling his dark power surge. Then, another notification pops up. Countless powerful factions across the tower are now watching his every move. It is a reminder that the world of the tower has layers. Beings inside the tower and the tower itself exist on different planes. Ordinary groups like the Bloody Cross Knights are just internal entities of the tower. But the Monarchs operate on a much higher cosmic level here. A normal player acts as a direct bridge between these two massive worlds. They are almost like direct agents of a Monarch's ultimate power. The players are not just mindless puppets following orders. Smart players can read between the lines and make unexpected moves. That is exactly how Kang secured his massive advantages. He predicted a much better reward by choosing darkness over light. Honestly, if you have a wild plan in this place, you just have to pull the trigger. Even the all-powerful Monarchs are bound by the tower's absolute rules. So no matter how much the Light Sentinels hate him, they are restricted. Since this is a Tier 5 tower, no angel above rank 8 can interfere. Because of these rules, only the lower heralds can attack him. But in this thick darkness, even their holy vision is completely useless. Their desperate attacks end up hitting their own allied knights instead. He did not care about their allies, since the followers of light were basically the same. To Kang, this brutal end just made sense. Then his focus shifted. He announced that his vision had suddenly become crystal clear. This new buff was incredible, but the enemy was still pretty strong. He had to do something fast before it was too late, so he rushed to the princess. Dragging Syria out of the dangerous war zone, he quickly called out for Blackie. He handed over the gift he got earlier, telling her to protect the princess. Then he used the higher-ranked growth stone to boost Blackie's power. Syria spotted an incoming attack and screamed a warning to him. But Kang didn't need to do a thing to protect her. Before the princess realized it, Blackie had already jumped in to shield her. She absorbed those sky attacks and sent them back. Kang thought it was brilliant. This tactic worked incredibly well, but the enemy heralds only sneered. They sneered that it was futile, claiming those blades could never hit them. Kang shrugged it off and charged, as the heralds braced for another round. One of them dove straight into close combat. Kang tried a sneaky flank. But the opponent was too fast, dodging the strike and forcing Kang back. He realized going head-on like this only threw his balance off. He wondered if keeping on the move was even helping him anymore. He was completely stumped by how fast they were, even under their debuff. He had no choice but to fight on, though it was a brutal matchup. A split second of distraction, and another harsh blow sent him reeling. All this flying was driving him crazy. He wanted them dead now. It was time to pull out his secret weapon, but a herald screamed. They would not let him. He hesitated for a second, then took a brutal hit. Blood poured from his wounds. If this continued, he was a dead man. His weapons glitched, and his focus shattered completely. Seeing their chance, the enemy closed in. Then his system pinged. His adventurer blessing hit 100%, despite the under 50% chance. The cheat death blessing activated, rendering that fatal blow totally useless. And just like that, his radiant sword began its localization process. Sensing the danger, the herald leader panicked and ordered a full retreat. Kang warned them it was too late, summoning a massive storm of swords. He launched them at the enemy, declaring it was time to end this. Every single herald took a direct hit from the overwhelming onslaught. The attack completely broke them. He hunted down the cowards who tried escaping. He took them out easily, finally bringing the chaotic battle to a close. He leveled up from the victory, but he was completely exhausted. His buffs vanished instantly as he scanned the blood-soaked battlefield. Corpses lay everywhere, but thankfully, his loyal companion Blackie was safe. Syria survived the chaos as well. She looked up as he approached. She demanded to know why he betrayed his own kind just to protect her. Kang simply replied that the rewards were just too good to ignore. She wondered if he felt any empathy or if this was a ransom. He casually joked that he had a severe sickness, making him hate humanity. Kang sees the princess is visibly shaken. He apologizes for not taking her. Concerned seriously, days later they ride up to the border. Of the elven kingdom of Eob, Princess Syria tells Kang she is deeply indebted to him. Thanking him for everything, Kang just shrugs. He only did it for a reward. So the princess hands him a necklace. Suddenly, his system flashes, confirming he has received the symbol of trust. It is a special accessory of unknown rank, true value, complete mystery, but it feels highly important, a tool that will definitely come in handy later, soon after. Kang rides a train heading for Busausen Station. A friend had called him with an urgent alert. Kang immediately asks if some major crisis just went down. Park explains nothing has happened yet, but it will soon, and he is needed. The real threat is Necha Ivanova, and she is no joke. She is an internationally wanted criminal, a rogue black player on the run from the Russian government. She slipped into Busausen through the port and is now clearing local towers with 4 of her subordinates. Worse, she holds the legendary ability card, Absolute Darkness Curtain, as Kang steps off the train. Park asks if he has seen any zombies yet. Kang just shrugs. No, he just needs a ride. Meanwhile, Park got fresh intel on the tower. Necha entered, and he is sending Kang straight there. Kang quickly realizes he is walking into a Tier 5 zombie apocalypse tower. He never expected a normal challenge, but Tier 5, that is insane. His system screams an alert, survive the hungry infected and tell us secret maintenance squad. These creatures are bizarre. He wonders if zombie even fits. Suddenly, Blackie springs forward, even without waiting for orders. The shadow beast is drawn to something specific. As Blackie corners his target, primal hunger explodes. He slips behind the creature, swallows it whole, and morphs into a giant whale. Kang realizes eating that growth stone seriously upgraded his cat. After that wild feast, Blackie looks extremely satisfied. Suddenly, Necha Ivanova appears. She has been waiting for Kang, calling him the hero of heroes, a righteous guy who would never let a villain like her walk free. Kang responds that he knows exactly who she is, a red mafia associate wanted by her own government, sneaking into Busausen through the docks with her thugs. Nietzsche asks if he plans to arrest her. Kang denies it but wonders why she is so incredibly relaxed facing him. Internally, Nietzsche sneers, assuming Russian foreign intelligence holds a pretty low opinion of her skills. Kang guesses her little squad also includes Zaslin members, aiming to corner him and leave him for the zombies. Nietzsche reminds Kang she works for Russian intelligence, asking if he still dares to fight, but Kang is not backing down. He did not come to become zombie food. He simply points out there is no other way to steal her legendary ability. Ivanova realizes her gut feeling about him was entirely correct. She immediately orders her men to attack. They open fire, bullets flying everywhere, but Kang is lightning fast, effortlessly dodging every shot as he prepares to. He tries to go after her, but Nietzsche slips away, leaving him pretty impressed. Kane stands completely in the dark, trying to figure out what just happened. He realizes Nietzsche vanished into the shadows, forcing him to defend himself immediately. Her team strikes 3 riflemen and 1 sniper. He is forced to dodge. Dodging their bullets, he thinks he might survive once, but never twice. The absolute darkness curtain debuff blinds everyone, so how are they still aiming perfectly? Right on cue, his cat Blackie appears, and Kane tells him he needs backup. Blackie agrees to lend a paw, while outside, one of the shooters complains. Kane's ice shield is just too strong, forcing them to find another way. Big mistake, the shooter spots Blackie, and honestly, that was his last mistake. Blackie attacks, tearing through the shooters as someone frantically screams a warning. Avoid the cat's shadows, they yell, while Kane wonders if they can escape. Honestly, it doesn't even matter if they can see those shadows or not. Out of nowhere, Nietzsche Ivanova appears, pressing a cold knife directly to his throat. She whispers that she might let him live, but only if he behaves. Kane retorts that only someone actually capable of killing him should talk like that. Nietzsche warns him not to underestimate her, pointing out his massive conquest points. He cleared the 5th-tier tower with a score that was definitely not normal. She assumes he beat it on difficult mode, yet chose an easier challenge later. Just like last season, she notes, outside, the remaining men are panicking. They scramble to escape Blackie's shadowy attacks, but things are going horribly. Kane knows this, having only been waiting for the absolute perfect moment. He calmly asks Nietzsche how she plans to kill him, leaving her totally stunned. Talk about a twist, everything she saw was a complete illusion this entire time. She fell right into his trap, as Kane reveals he knew the truth. He knew this fake darkness curtain wasn't real, since the real one blinds you. No, this was a legendary illusion, letting him completely rewrite everything she saw. It is called Oculus, and Nietzsche instantly realizes her entire plan is ruined. She stands completely frozen, and Kane does not waste this perfect opening. He mockingly tells her it takes a real scammer to pull off a trick. But hey, he generously admits that it is not entirely her fault. He warns Nietzsche she is about to be the only one caught by a zombie. But just as he corners her, a sudden system alert pings. A player died. Tella's secret squadron has apparently found survivors located in Zone B16. Nietzsche and her crew spot another hostile squad rapidly closing in on them. They try to bolt, but it is too late as they are spotted. An Iron Soldier obeys strict protocols, instantly eliminating them. He debates his next move, stop them or defuse the shield. Before he can even choose, he is attacked, leaving 0 time to think. Suddenly everything shifts, and a terrified Nietzsche instantly freaks out. The NPC merchant has arrived, complaining about the waste of 2 dead players. They died without spending their conquest points, and she blames Kane for it. He quickly apologizes, trying to ask how he can make things right. She offers him a card pack, but Kane flatly refuses to buy. Knowing her shop means war, he tells her to sell it to Nietzsche instead. He also notices that the chaotic battles happening right outside the shop are seriously stressing Nietzsche. The cold merchant just shrugs, claiming she won't survive the ordeal anyway. Still, she offers a card pack, hinting she might get lucky and pull some mythic card to save her. Kang asks if selling these card packs is all this merchant does. Then Kang gets a shock. Nietzsche is blowing all 374 of her conquest points on random card packs. He just watches as Necha tears them open, but only trash common cards pop out. She gets super frustrated, nothing good, the merchant still tries to boost her spirits, claiming there is still some hope left. Necha gets increasingly anxious. Kang, however, finds this entire burning circus of a situation pretty amusing. After burning through countless card packs, Necha is down to her very last one. Talk about high stakes, this pack needs to deliver or it is game over. Necha knows a mythic card is just a dream, even legendary or heroic. Would do, but no luck. The saleswoman tries to comfort her, offering a potion instead. Kang cuts in, telling the seller to pack it up. The merchant argues that after so many sudden deaths and massive sacrifices, a legendary card is bound to drop. She even guarantees the next pack will deliver. Meanwhile, Kang's system goes completely wild, warning him that even the Hell Monarch is shocked, since the system cannot help. Necha instantly curses Kang in furious Russian, using every insult she knows. Kang just shrugs, calling her swearing highly inefficient, but he agrees to buy just one more pack. He pulls a duplicate card, and his system asks if he wants to upgrade it by combining skills. This is way better than some useless skill. What will he get? Necha is absolutely fuming. Kang completely ignores her. The saleswoman suddenly announces she is leaving, but Kang tells her to wait. She leaves anyway. Necha starts swearing at Kang again. Suddenly, iron soldiers arrive, preparing to strike. They are ordered to eliminate all witnesses using classified protocols, but before they can move, Kang ruthlessly finishes Necha. Game over. Then he charges the soldiers. No dying today, not like his last enemy. He fights with absolute savagery, tearing through several soldiers. Kang strikes using his mind-controlled swords, but they hit back hard. Laser beams fly from heavy military weapons. Kang is stunned. All this from a pharmaceutical corporation. Honestly, our guy is already planning his future stock portfolio. But first he has to beat them. No stock investments for now. With this path of absolute destruction, this company is facing some massive losses. Bankruptcy is definitely coming. After obliterating everyone, Kang finally conquers the zombie apocalypse tower. He even receives a random equipment ticket. As the victorious survivor, he is allowed to claim one skill card from a failed player. He skips the other choices entirely. He knows exactly what he wants, Necha's Oculus skill. Once the tower is cleared, all players, even the defeated ones, return to their original world. Kang realizes two teammates from his group, plus Necha, died fighting Blackie. They likely failed to escape due to the pain, but this only matters if the tower does not cause permanent death. Before leaving, Kang says Necha Ivanova is totally lost. Kang basically asks if she wants to get arrested. If that is her plan, he suggests she should just go turn herself in. Necha is completely shocked. Is he seriously just going to let her run away? Kang nods. He tells her to go spread the word about the amazing hero king. Nobody should cross him. Plus, dead people do not talk, so he needs her alive for PR. That is her new job. Later, Park questions why Kang let their enemies walk away. Kang simply explains it was all for the legendary skill compensation they left behind. Park is highly annoyed. He demands to know why Kang let traitors walk away. Why leave them with their heads still attached? Kang shrugs at his friend. He clarifies that he is no bloodthirsty killer. He actually prefers a peaceful life. He even wants to be philanthropic. Park sarcastically applauds his beautiful speech. Then he presses him on the enemy's actual goal, but Kang avoids a direct answer. Instead, he casually announces that he is now taking over Park's online forum. His friend gives up on getting real answers. He just wishes Kang a safe return. He warns him not to push too hard, and Kang thanks him for the rare concern. He promises to stay safe. Inside the massive towers, players earn all kinds of titles. They call Kang a hero, but he honestly doubts that label. To him, they are just war heroes, nothing more. He knows people like Necha Ivanova. She eliminates her own nation's enemies without a single moment of hesitation. But Kang refuses to play that role. He believes real heroes do not exist here. Suddenly, someone spots him. He got careless. Crowds begin whispering about his reputation as he walks away. Are the media reports true? To them, it does not matter. Only one thing is important. Kang is the strongest active player around. Everything else is completely irrelevant. Kang sighs with relief and heads home. But wait, can a top-tier player actually catch a break around here? Before he even arrives, he gets cornered by a relentless mob. He slips past them easily, deciding to hide inside the tower instead. Since he has to head back eventually, he might as well just rest inside. Suddenly, he hears voices announcing that the sacred warrior ritual is complete. Kang has absolutely no clue what they mean until the saint steps forward. She greets him warmly, claiming he is the savior from another world. He supposedly answered her prayers, then she introduces herself. She is Alicia Celestina, 37th saint of the Sacred Kingdom. Kang decides to play along, declaring himself the ultimate warrior. He boasts about his lightning-fast speed and asks what she needs from him. The saint tells him to listen to the history of Phia continent from the start. Kang rolls his eyes, guessing it involves gods fighting demons. She confirms his quick guess, launching into the Grand War of Light. Vile creatures of the abyss rose to invade the world of light. After 30 minutes of this incredibly long story, he gets bored. Kang cuts her off, asking if they can actually start saving things. But she stops him, saying the story is only just beginning. She explains that chosen warriors must earn the gods' approval first. At those tedious words, Kang just turns around and walks away. He walks away. The saint asks where he is going, but he just says he is off to work. She notes he has no idea where the Ark is, so Kang asks if she knows. She admits she does not. Kang just shrugs, saying it does not matter. Suddenly, a massive portal rips open out of nowhere. Demonic beasts pour out. Seeing them up close, the saint is left in absolute shock. How did a demon breach sacred land? Instantly, the knights charge forward, yelling that this place is off limits for monsters. The battle begins. Kang just watches the entire clash from a safe distance. They wonder why their divine magic and aura blades are not dealing any damage. Suddenly, the beast lunges. Kang yells for everyone to fall back. Instantly, he casts a protective shield over them. All the saint offers to help, but Kang refuses and insists they stay behind his defense. She worries, seeing him jump straight into danger for their sake. In desperation, Alicia prays to her goddess for mercy. Soon the others join in prayer. Then Kang's shield shatters. The saint frantically asks if he is okay, but Kang says the enemy has fled. Before leaving, though, it sent a mental warning. It is the beast's duty to claim the Ark. Soon, this bright world they hate will be drowned in total darkness. The warning tells Kang not to get in their way. The saint is completely terrified by this threat, but Kang is not stopping. He presses forward, refusing to waste any time. He asks if she has any clue where the Ark is. Despite her being totally stunned, Alicia finally mentions she has a guess. Armed with that lid, Kang takes off immediately. Meanwhile, Kang casually thinks his cat did an amazing job playing the demon. Seriously, his cute little cat was just acting the entire time. He realized he had used the illusion to terrify everyone. Now, he must avoid using dark skills for a while. He even warns Blackie to keep those spikes hidden. As the saint notices Kang lagging behind, she asks if they should slow down, but Kang quickly refuses, figuring his approach is best. After all, this is how you properly use a legendary skill. Before long, they reach the Adventurers Guild. Kang mentions hearing about a certain requirement to enter the labyrinth. The receptionist knows exactly what he means, the Adventurer's license. She tells them to wait for a moment. While they hang out in the lobby, the saint explains their location. This is Garcia, the labyrinth city, sitting completely neutral between the Sacred Kingdom of Ernestina and the Drauger Empire, just like the name hints. An ancient underground structure forms the city's core. Kang muses that it would be tough to find a better hiding spot for the Ark, the celestial being's ancestral weapon. Soon it is their turn. The receptionist hands over some paperwork for Kang to sign. The saint almost signs it herself, but Kang stops her. Reading the fine print, he finds that if you die inside, the guild takes zero responsibility. No joke, if they recover your body, your belongings become city property. Kang immediately asks if this is non-negotiable for the license. The receptionist explains that the guild offers everyone a fair shot at the labyrinth's massive fortune. She adds that adventures are risky, and it is entirely the adventurer's choice to take the plunge. Kang sarcastically remarks that the guild clearly values human life. Once he finishes signing, the receptionist wished them luck. Soon after, they finally stepped forward into the maze. Starting on level 1, Kang asked the saint if she was ready. She gave him a firm nod. Right away, their first enemies appeared. A giant rat and its babies. Kang created an opening, and with a clean strike, the saint brought her weapon down. They moved fast, reaching level 5 in no time. Kang credited their crazy speed to her amazing skills, showering her with praise. But she humbly pointed out that other parties had already helped them out by clearing some of the magic beasts ahead, making their trip much easier. She explained they were in a rush, feeling grateful for the indirect help. If adventurers always worked together, even demons wouldn't be scary. Kang smiled and told her not to worry, promising to bring everything back safely. Right then, a group of hostile labyrinth bandits suddenly appeared, demanding they pay a heavy toll if they wanted to keep going. The saint immediately panicked, but Kang did not even blink. He knew exactly what this was: classic adventurer hunting, common in big dungeons. Realizing Kang knew their game, the bandit ordered him to hand over his gear. The saint was terrified, desperately trying to talk her way out of trouble. But Kang stepped up instead, calmly asking the bandits to hear him out. He spun a wild story about gods and demons almost destroying the world, claiming he was the legendary warrior chosen to stop the coming apocalypse. All he needed was the ancient weapon hidden deep inside this place. And with the holy saint at his side, he politely asked them for passage. The saint quickly played along, insisting this was all to save humanity. Naturally, the bandits burst out laughing at such a ridiculous story. Alicia Celestina started to panic as their peaceful plea completely failed. Kang, though, he fully expected this, knowing words rarely work on thugs. In the labyrinth, everyone is just an adventurer, warrior, or saint alike. No more talking, Kang instantly struck them down with zero mercy. They tried to fight back, but they stood absolutely zero chance against him. Suddenly, a new voice cut through, furious that he dared touch her men. She admitted he was pretty skilled. The saint recognized her face instantly. It was the guild receptionist, but she could not understand why she was there. And get this, the entire guild was actually working with these bandits. They worked directly with the bandits to trap unsuspecting rookies, forcing them to pay for their lives if they could not pay. While their bodies still had plenty of value, Alicia Celestina was horrified. The receptionist sneered, calling her incredibly naive. Why even become an adventurer if she could not handle the dark reality of how this city operated? But talk was over. The receptionist declared it too late and lunged. Kang defended himself, calmly warning her to watch where she was stepping. She leaped from above, totally missing the sharp thorns growing from the ground. While Kang kept her distracted, his cat, Blackie, had set the trap. With the enemy caught, Kang told the saint they needed to run. No time to waste, they quickly pushed deeper into the dark maze. Eventually, Kang spotted a perfect spot to camp out for the night. Resting for the night, Kang notices the saint is still visibly shaken. It hits him that she has been acting like this ever since that brutal bandit attack. He realizes she is just not used to seeing the world without her prestigious saint status. Finally, Alicia Celestina speaks up, noting that while the world is ending, people still fight. They still squabble over petty things, prompting her to ask Kang if he is used to this chaos. Thinking back to the greedy leaders of his old world, Kang responds. It doesn't matter where you are, he tells her, some things never change. This response really piques the saint's curiosity, and she asks about his hometown. Kang explains his old world faced massive, endless crises with absolutely no direction. Everything fell apart into complete lawlessness. He admits he struggled to adapt early on. But once his head cleared, he realized everyone was simply looking out for themselves. Hearing this, the saint asks if Kang had to do the same thing. Kang slyly tosses the question right back, asking what she honestly thinks of him. She hesitates, letting a long, awkward silence stretch out between them. When she finally answers, her words completely throw Kang off guard. He is stunned for a second, then suddenly bursts into genuine laughter. Soon, quiet settles again. Kang wonders why it is so still. It should be starting. Right on cue, the saleswoman pops out of nowhere to offer him some cards. Kang insists on checking the inventory first. He is only 2 levels from his goal. A few days later, they hit level 100, instantly facing off against hostile demons. These monsters are also hunting the Ark. Kang charges while the saint provides cover. With her solid backup, he is free to tear through his enemies completely unhindered. He rips a giant snake's jaws completely apart, easily overpowering their leader. The demons groan in agony over their swift defeat, but Kang is totally satisfied. Along with leveling up, he pocketed 10,000 conquest points from a skill pack. Kang complains that these demons have terrible timing, arriving right after his trial ended. The saint, however, is absolutely thrilled by their incredible victory. But their celebration is cut short when something catches them both completely off guard. A mysterious artifact appears, the very item they have been searching for. Kang approaches the Ark, noting it looks pretty ordinary for a legendary superweapon. His system flashes with confirmation. Suddenly, the entire maze begins to rumble. A massive dimensional portal tears open, and the Saint urges him to jump in. Tumble out safely, she breathes a sigh of relief, but their peace is short-lived. A smooth-talking stranger appears, clapping mockingly at the Saint and her companion. He sneers that their hard work just made the Empire's quest incredibly easy. Prince Maldas Draga steps forward, boldly claiming the Ark now belongs to him. Acting as the Empire's face, he coldly demands they hand over the artifact. The Saint gasps, recognizing him as the powerful Imperial Crown Prince. Kang immediately warns her that this guy is definitely not an ally. Maldas promises to spare them if they surrender the Ark without a fight. But the Saint protests, arguing the Ark must be kept safe to defend humanity. The prince drops a bombshell. He already possesses another sacred Ark fragment. He brags that soon, even the demon lords will bow to his will. Unfazed, Kang chuckles. The idiot just saved him the trouble of hunting it down. Enraged, Maldas orders his men to strike, declaring it is time for bloodshed. The Empire's proud swordsmen, to prove their loyalty, this brief speech fires up the entire army as they charge. Suddenly, Kang's system pops up. Warning him that the scenario is ending soon, it warns that the prince and his royal guards are after the power, but Kang won't stand still. The Saint grants him a massive buff, summoning celestial armor that supercharges his defenses and totally amplifies his attacks with this insane power surge. Kang can take on the entire army head-on. One of the prince's men wisely begs to retreat, urgently warning that it is far too dangerous to stay. But the arrogant prince refuses to flee. Suddenly, Kang's system begins. Him that the prince is already absorbing the Ark's ancient power. Kang had predicted this, quickly warning the Saint of the danger. As Kang dives for cover, the prince begins a horrific transformation into a giant, grotesque beast. His own soldiers nervously ask if he is okay. But the monster just roars at everyone to get out of his way. He has become a demonic beast, brutally turning on his own men. Kang combines his abilities with the Saint to summon a powerful magical barrier. Then he tosses a special potion, unleashing a massive earthquake and fire. The entire area erupts in chaos, giving him the perfect opening to strike. Seeing his chance, Kang relentlessly batters the giant beast from all sides. Nulvis goes absolutely ballistic, roaring that Kang cannot hide in the flames. The beast lunges to attack, only to realize he is hitting a decoy. It is just a fire illusion. Suddenly, Kang appears behind him, taunting that Nulvis must be seeing things, channeling all his built-up power. He unleashes a devastating, surefire final strike straight at the giant beast. Nulvis is completely caught off guard, taking a massive hit that shatters him. With that, Kang stands victorious. Suddenly, his system pings with an alert. He has claimed the second Ark fragment, unlocking the relic's complete power. This sheer energy shocks the Saint, who cannot even comprehend such power. Kang is just thrilled about the massive levels and points he just earned. Wait, he actually just hands it over. The Saint is completely baffled. Why would an otherworldly warrior trust her with this? She protests that she is not worthy, but Kang insists she is the only capable person. If not her, this devastating power will surely fall into Emperor Draga's hands. He warns her to keep it safe, but she worries about the burden. The Saint fears being irresponsible with such dangerous powers, but Kang gently explains that those who seek only destruction always end up carrying a heavy burden. He believes she will use it to protect others alongside her companions. Softening, she thanks him, admitting his kind words brought her immense comfort. Glad to help, Kang pockets his rewards for completing the mission and heads home. 1 week later, he reflects on his journey. He had only finished one tower. He wanted a relaxing vacation, but ended up pushing himself way too hard. Soon, Kang spots some internet articles written about his recent actions. Not everyone views him as a hero. It is still mid-January, and he knows bigger storms are brewing. A few days later, he steps out in public. Instantly, a swarm of reporters surrounds him, but Kang silently walks right past. Bypasses them, heading straight into the next tower. The reporters are left staring, wondering if he entered the Awakening Tower. Inside, a bizarre entity reveals it has been waiting for him a long time. Kang tells it to cut the small talk and get straight to the test. Soon, he faces an unknown challenge. the entity scolds him for being so impatient, adding that the test was starting anyway, even without his complaints. The trial begins. Kang suddenly finds himself in the middle of nowhere. Surrounded by circular mirrors, he smashes them, trying to push forward. But then a clone of himself appears wearing a clown mask. It comments that Kang does not even seem surprised to see it. Kang is not interested in talking. He gets ready to strike, but his opponent is just a shadow, mirroring his every single move. So when Kang attacks, the clown copy does the exact same thing, and their powers violently collide. Kang quickly shifts his strategy. He summons his shadow beast, keeping the enemy distracted. The clown copy still mirrors everything, and Kang finally realizes this thing is a perfect replica of him. Despite the clown being a mirror image, Kang does not stop his assault. He thinks about how he has fought this exact type of enemy every single season, and frankly, it is getting old. He finally unleashes his dark magic attacks, determined not to give the enemy any kind of advantage. The clown strikes, but Kang's magic barrier protects him. Thanks to his unique blessing, the one who deceived death, Kang naturally dodges the lethal blow. He immediately takes the chance to strike back. Kang figures the way to finish this duel is actually pretty simple. He does not change his approach. Kang charges straight at the enemy, aiming to pierce him, but because his moves are perfectly mimicked, Kang also gets hit head-on. That was his plan all along. The clown then asks Kang why he is so serious. He tells Kang they can be a hero or a villain, and it is up to them to decide their path right now. The clown tells Kang not to take himself too seriously, because according to him, nothing in this world should be taken seriously. Kang just tells the clown he talks far too much and that he has a way to silence him forever. Then Kang places his hands directly on the clown's face and explodes his head definitively, destroying the clown. Kang then takes the clown's mask for himself. He asks if there is anything else he needs to do. Suddenly, the clown Monarch appears. He calls Kang the child of 1,000 faces and talents, telling him to choose what he wants to become next. Sometime later at a hospital, Master Park frantically runs inside a room. He finds Kang lying in bed. Park is desperate. He heard his friend was hospitalized and rushed over as fast as he could, but when he gets there, Kang is acting like nothing even happened. Kang asks Park how he could possibly show up to the hospital empty-handed. Park realizes Kang still has his sharp sense of humor, which means he must be okay. Park tells him to stop messing around and get back to fighting for world peace. After all, Kang is a hero. Kang asks if his manager expects him to work with a hole in his chest. Park insists that Kang must have chugged a healing potion or something similar. But Kang explains that despite appearances, this is not just a common wound. Park is not surprised, knowing Kang's Monarch, and says that entity is not easy to deal with. Kang says it is actually not that serious. He explains that awakening at level 50 happens in different ways, depending on the Monarch. His self-sacrifice pays off. The grand reward is reclaiming his raw talent. This means he fully absorbs every single card collected so far. His stats improve. At last, he has absolutely everything. Next, he asks Park. He wants details on the new mission. Park explains his target. He must eliminate a genuine, real-world villain. True villains are rare. This guy is known as the Black Player. He is terrorizing citizens, a twisted maestro orchestrating absolute chaos. Calling everyone ignorant, he boasts that only his genius talent can show the way. To prove his point, he literally sets entire city blocks on fire. He insists only the Fire Monarch truly understands his burning art. As police cars close in, the maestro just grins at their efforts. Calling them fools, he instantly vanishes right inside a massive tower. The officers are baffled. Fortunately, Kang quickly arrives on scene. Seeing the burning ruins firsthand, Kang realizes this target is definitely no ordinary psychopath. He heads inside. Soon, he discovers a massive combat arena. Waiting there is the maestro. He clearly did not expect Kang. The maestro tenses up. Kang immediately challenges him directly. Can Kang understand his art? The villain simply asks. Kang instantly shuts him down, calling him nothing but a delusional magician wannabe. Honestly, Kang says, why is this world constantly dragging around such massive lunatics? The maestro is absolutely furious. He loathes his work being insulted. He fires off massive heat waves, desperately trying to reduce Kang to ashes. Kang just scoffs, noting that fake artists always have the thinnest skin. That trash talk works. Suddenly, Kang notices a sneaky strike from above. The pyromaniac thinks he successfully secured a win, but Kang is far too quick. Dodging effortlessly, he warns the maestro he will need much faster moves than that. Annoyed, the enemy unleashes another blast, and this one actually connects directly. He laughs wildly. He claims Kang's scream will compose the perfect melody. But wait, just as the lunatic celebrates, Kang steps out completely unharmed. It was all an illusion. Now he charges straight ahead. The maniac barely dodges the incoming strike, which genuinely surprises the hunter. Despite escaping the strike, the villain is bleeding and screaming that cheap tricksters have no class. You have absolutely no right to judge, Kang retorts instantly with cold eyes. Activating his skills, Kang conjures multiple physical clones to surround the area. He mocks the villain. Here is the perfect audience for your final performance. But the maniac screams right back that his brilliant art will never be silenced. Suddenly, he detonates a massive self-destruct blast right from his own chest. The sheer blast force catches Kang completely off guard as the smoke clears. Victory is officially confirmed. Luckily, tower rules completely prevent player deaths. He figures it would have been much easier to just wait for him outside the exit. Leaving the tower, Kang immediately initiates a long-range teleportation straight to France. The magician's specialty is escaping death, so Kang tracks him to his homeland. The target cannot escape. He has absolutely nowhere left to run. Striking first, Kang summons lethal ice blades to completely freeze any escape route. He lunges forward. He is determined to finish this battle forever. But then a shield suddenly materializes around the magician. Kang realizes it. It was not the magician's doing. Someone else has stepped in. A woman emerges from the far side and orders Kang to drop his weapons. He recognizes an old acquaintance, Saint Mary Gerger, master of the Knights and Rescue Guild. Kang asks her what she is doing here. Mary explains that the French government requested her guild's help. They were investigating the black player and had been waiting for him to leave the tower to capture him. Kang asks if they can just drag him out of that shield, but Mary says this black player cannot die. Yet she adds that executing someone mid-pursuit is only acceptable in very specific situations. Kang sarcastically remarks that she really lives up to her saint title. Mary counters, warning him that revenge only leads to more revenge. She tells him that just because the enemy acts like a monster, Kang shouldn't do the same. Kang asks what is so wrong with killing this black player, especially after everything the man has done. Mary responds that she is telling him this for his own good. She then asks if Kang understands the global consequences such an act would bring, but as they argue, the ice encasing their enemy melts away. The magician seizes his chance to trigger another massive explosion. He cannot break through the barrier, though, and ends up just blasting himself with fire. Mary repeats that she is only trying to protect Kang. She says the criminal is captured now and she will take over, advising Kang to go home and rest. Fine, Kang thinks he does as she says, complaining that thanks to her, his trip to France is a complete waste. But right before leaving, Kang tries one last move. He unleashes his dark magic, attempting to strike the enemy one more time. However, Mary keeps her shield up, protecting the fallen player. She tells Kang he is just wasting his time. Kang agrees out loud, but internally he fully expected this. He attacks the enemy yet again. Watch this. Kang strikes, and this time he is totally effective. The saint is completely shocked. The hostage she was protecting is gone, leaving only a pool of blood. This really hits a nerve with the saint and her organization. The clown Monarch, however, absolutely loves every second of it. Kang then asks her if she knows how many people this lunatic has killed. He points out that not just adults, but even innocent children have suffered because of him. Kang makes it clear this psychopath deserves absolutely no mercy. He argues that black players are destroying the world faster than the towers ever could. But the saint still cannot agree with his harsh methods. Kang already knows what she is about to say, that anyone who kills a monster becomes one too. But honestly, he could not care less. Then Mary steps closer, looks him right in the eyes, and tells him he is not a monster. Kang is a little surprised by her words, but he hides it well. A split second later, his phone rings. It is Master Park yelling his head off because Kang did not warn him he was fighting a serial killer. Kang casually tells him he might go deaf from all the shouting and that he just did his job. He asks what the problem is. Park quickly explains that Kang should not have executed the target in public. It is seen as excessive force, and now the French government is going to be all over him. Park also tells Kang he has booked a flight for him to get home as soon as possible, but Kang states he still has something to take care of. Park is not. Kang explains he actually has a personal life outside of work and promises to share every single detail once he gets back home. Without warning, Kang just hangs up, leaving his friend chatting to empty air. He is definitely grateful for the assist, but he often finds Park a bit too dramatic. Now left alone with Maria, he thanks the saint, telling her he is deeply in her debt. Helping her out is the absolute least he can do. Maria admits she is incredibly relieved to hear that. Kang tries to get slightly closer, but she quickly tells him she will see him tomorrow in Paris. Kang then jokingly notes that she is highly skilled at setting boundaries. He asks if she has any parting words. She simply says no and wishes him a peaceful night. After Kang leaves the room, the saint is left in silence, wondering if asking such a massive favor was actually all right. The next day, a brand new tower suddenly opens in the French capital. Kang is already on site, determined to conquer this crazy scenario. Dangerous enemies chase him, firing wildly, but Kang fights back, returning every strike. The saint is right beside him, riding inside their carriage. Kang spots a massive bridge ahead and quickly suggests they block it to cut off their pursuers. They are inside a tower currently recreating the actual French Revolution. Their mission is protecting the nobles from fierce revolutionaries. Kang and Maria swiftly block the passage. Then Kang smashes it down, making it impossible for anyone to cross. They stand guard, fully prepared to fight as the fleeing nobles escape. Unexpectedly, instead of launching an attack, the rebel leader calls for a ceasefire. He demands to know why these players are interfering. He points out that until now, Kang and Maria were fighting alongside them to build a brand new world. He cannot comprehend why they suddenly switched sides. After all, their saint was the absolute key to their victory. He demands to know why she stopped fighting for their righteous cause. The angry leader openly accuses her of siding with corrupt royals. Even so, he admits he hates fighting a former ally. Kang turns and asks if this is the real reason she needed him, finally realizing that Maria has actually been to this world before. Maria confirms she was here during a previous Tier 5 tower campaign. Back then, she fought fiercely for their cause of true freedom, equality, and brotherhood. Kang notes that the slogan sounds extremely familiar. Maria explains it is the famous motto from the historical French Revolution. Kang quickly points out that the people fighting for a righteous cause are now her direct enemies. He warns Maria that if she wants to back out, this is her absolute last chance. Maria explains the tower is a highly restricted zone to conquer and complete. Tier 6, they must defeat these foes right now. Hearing this, Kang readily agrees. They will push forward. The saint tells him she is glad to have his backing in this crazy tower. Meanwhile, the rebel leader tries to argue once more, but Kang brutally strikes him down. He even chuckles, mocking the stunned commander about still believing these otherworldly visitors are holy apostles. Kang issues a cold, final warning. The bridge is destroyed, so they must retreat. He has zero desire to spill blood, but the leader refuses to back down, stating that even if he must battle otherworldly entities, he will protect their great cause. The commander instantly activates his anti-player tactics, ordering his troops to initiate tactical armor configurations and unleash their magic gear. He roars for them to fight proudly for freedom and equality. In seconds, suddenly the enemy opens fire with upgraded guns, each shot bursting with raw energy. Maria the saint casts an unbelievable buff on Kang, giving him a massive 1000% boost. Lightning speed. Kang is totally amazed, realizing this massive power-up makes things simple. Maria commands him to retreat so she can clean house, but he refuses. Unleashing pitch-black dark magic, he completely blinds the entire battlefield. Absolute darkness. She freezes in place while Kang charges straight ahead, slashing ruthlessly through his foes. A Tier 6 tower army is definitely a tough challenge, but fighting in complete darkness requires perfect calculation, so he tells her to raise her shield. Annoyed, Maria demands he clear the shadows. Kang declines. He claims he has absolutely zero interest in her interference. Testing her buffs is his real goal, especially since they share the experience. Besides, he possesses everything required to annihilate these opponents. It is all thanks to her magic, and he truly does not need her direct combat aid. Maria feels incredibly slighted. Still, they must keep moving forward, riding atop his giant cat. Kang directs her to head directly toward the second inner ward. Speed is crucial. If their city falls, nothing else in the world matters. The saint argues he is doing way too much, but Kang is perfectly content. As long as she keeps casting those buffs, he can slay everyone and keep her safe. She quickly points out that is not why she brought him along. He shrugs. Does not matter, he is already doing all this for her anyway. Meanwhile, a building burns. Agonizing screams echo through the smoke to execute the revolutionaries' enemies. Their leader shouts that they act on orders from the notorious Duke. They must die. Every single supporter of the old regime perishes, absolutely no exceptions. Age or gender is irrelevant. Upon arrival, Maria is deeply horrified by the brutal wreckage, wondering why the revolutionary faction went to such terrifying extremes. Kang tells her this is the dark truth of radical belief, the same grim fate awaited the helpless villagers they left behind. Suddenly, a bright system alert flashes. The Duke's personal bodyguards, the elite Iron Blood soldiers, block their path. Kang scoffs. This isn't some noble army fighting for a glorious, grand cause. They are just common thugs. He warns Maria to expect another sudden blackout. A few quick minutes pass and they successfully clear the tower. Afterward, Maria finds herself swarmed by reporters eager for gossip about her legendary partner. Looking quite irritated, she claims they are strictly professional acquaintances working for the kingdom. But Kang, absolutely loving the chance to mess with her head, speaks up. He boldly hints they had a very busy night. I mean, what else would a guy and a girl do inside a tower besides dating? Right on cue, Maria blushes fiercely, frantically denying his claims, but he keeps piling on the embarrassing details. Furious, she screams at him to shut up, and every second is caught live. His strategy is clear: boost his provocation stat and amuse his wacky king. Just like that, a system notification announces his reward, a rare card pack. Kang feels slightly let down. He wanted more, but his disappointment instantly vanishes. He spots a secondary prize, an incredibly powerful sixth sense skill. Later, the gossip spreads like wildfire. Kang points out it is way too late to play. The Just Friends card, flustered as she is, Maria cannot hide a small secret smile. She is quietly thrilled. Soon, they step inside another dangerous tower. The room is packed with frozen helmets. Kang desperately needs a quick boost. He apologizes to Maria for his teasing and asks for her help. She huffs in annoyance, but her blushing face betrays her real feelings. She is not actually mad. Charging forward, she tells Kang to stay back. Joking that a hot night always needs a cold one, she fights alone. Unleashing her magic, Maria easily wipes out every single monster in the tower. For a month, they run wild raids, earning huge levels and rewards. Once the month of grinding finishes, Maria walks with Kang to the airport. He keeps teasing her, joking about how they look like a couple. Maria sighs, admitting she envies how he can act so completely carefree. Kang takes it as a compliment. She admits she is glad to have him. He is a reliable player, she says, and Kang says the same. Maria wishes him a safe flight and thanks him for saving the world. On the plane, Kang looks back, realizing how incredibly efficient their teamwork was. Still, every country has to put its own national interest first. He decides he will definitely have to invite Maria to Korea soon. But his train of thought is suddenly cut short by his cat. Blackie asks how much longer Kang plans to keep petting his fur. Startled, Kang demands to know since when the cat could speak. Blackie simply says he evolved, and Kang asks why he stayed quiet. The cat explains he did not want to interrupt Kang flirting with Maria. But now playtime is over. He orders Kang to open his card pack. Kang quickly rips it open, praying to find an overpowered legendary card. While some think they are just collectibles, a full set makes a deck. In this game, everything comes down to synergy and class combinations. His previous draws had great synergy, but too many mismatched items remained. Without a class buff, he still manages to grab Shadow Assassin enhancements. After taking a quick break, he plans to test this deck immediately. As soon as he lands back home in Korea, he immediately hunts for a tower. Pedestrians instantly recognize the hero, watching him stride into a noisy nightclub. But he is not there to party. He has a mission today. He is looking for a heavily drunk guy, groaning about a hangover. The drunkard demands to know who dares bother him, but Kang is quiet. He calmly counts to 3, telling the guy to stand and follow. The drunkard angrily fires back, boasting that his powerful dad runs the massive Grupox company. Kang does not care. Honestly, who would when you are this overpowered? He simply grabs the loudmouth by his messy hair and drags him right out. Earlier, Kang had actually visited the president of the Hunter Association. He wanted to test his new cards and offered to take a rookie for a free run. The president suggested a highly promising rookie who had recently awakened. But looking at this wasted drunkard, Kang cannot believe his own eyes. Is this really the rookie who cleared a Tier 3 tower alone? Recognizing the Hero King, the boy immediately perks up with excitement. He asks if they are raiding a Tier 4 tower, claiming Tier 3 bored him. His sheer confidence amuses Kang, so he agrees to the challenge. Kang wanted to see what the rookie could actually do in a real fight. So he tossed the kid straight into a match against a monster. But the boy completely lost his mind, seeing the terrifying threat up close. Instead of fighting, he fled and begged Kang for help, but Kang refused. The spoiled brat screamed, asking if Kang was really going to let him die right there. From a distance, Kang watched him survive purely on high tier armor. Kang knew a free ride was a pretty great deal for the boy, but selfish players only care about hoarding easy levels and free stat points anyway. Kang quietly wondered who would actually protect the world in the near future. Hearing the boy's desperate cries, Kang finally stepped in, telling the kid that if he wanted a free ride, he had to earn it, then more enemies dropped down from above. The kid was petrified, but Kang simply stepped forward. He effortlessly wiped them all out. Once safe, the spoiled brat immediately started barking threats at his savior. He yelled that his powerful father would hear about every single thing. Kang calmly replied he was just a tough teacher trying to transform the brat, asking if he seriously expected happy endings. The boy stood frozen with absolutely no response. Kang told him there was no right answer anyway. Then, using a skill, Kang placed a death mark directly on him, making the boy an instant target for nearby monsters. The brutal debuff completely ignored his defense stats, and a hit landed. Kang told him this dungeon walk was never meant for cowards like him. If the kid found this treatment unfair, he could return after getting stronger. Waking up back in the real world, the boy blinked in confusion. He asked what happened, so Kang calmly explained he had killed him painlessly. The brat did not even realize he died. Instantly, he exploded in rage. Screaming in rage, he swore Kang would never get away with this. But Kang simply asked what could possibly happen to him now anyway. The kid warned him about the power of massive corporations. Kang just shrugged, not caring one bit even if they sent elite assassins. One more conglomerate targeting him made absolutely no difference to his life. After all, he already had an entire nation wanting him dead. So adding a single corporation to his list of enemies meant nothing. Kang challenged the boy to try his luck, but then, out of absolute nowhere, they were both suddenly pulled right into a brand new tower called the Endless Labyrinth. Kang was completely blindsided, and things were about to get worse. The spoiled brat was also there, alongside several other highly confused players. Suddenly, someone recognized Kang as the legendary Hero King and felt relieved. They immediately felt completely safe beside him. Nearby, a woman noticed the word group glowing on the ground and realized they must cooperate. To clear this place, Kang saw they were officially a party now. Even though he absolutely detested the idea of protecting these weaklings, the woman read the rules, explaining they would respawn if a teammate killed them. That meant they could escape deadly situations by taking each other out. Kang absolutely hated this cheap loophole, knowing they would not survive. Still, he announced this was now a free ride with the Hero King, and everyone had to introduce themselves, show their skills. Then the mission kicked off. After beating some enemies, Kang felt they were doing great. He credited his new sixth sense, but he knew his group was full of spoiled brats and total newbies. If this crazy team division balanced power, their opponents were probably all veteran level 40 players. No shock they looked like easy targets. Kang ordered everyone to gather. Guests were coming. Moments later, the enemies arrived and the battle instantly began. Kang warned them that if too many died, everyone would be disqualified. The rival team was already struggling. The system was ready to eliminate them all based on the rules, but Kang noticed something important. He quickly took down the enemies before they reached his tower. Kang knew a dark truth. Deaths inside the maze were permanent. No revives even after the trial. He told them they should be thankful for his mercy in executing them before the maze got them. Meanwhile, another player watched Kang and rushed to warn his own teammates, but suddenly Kang appeared right behind him, startling the Scout, terrified, the player quickly pretended to be a massive fan of. The legendary hero king, Kang calmly asked if he was out here alone. The player bolted back to his team and reported finding other players. Mentioning one high-level monster and a bunch of weaklings, their leader decided. They only had to target the weak ones to trigger an automatic team disqualification, but then the leader asked if they were even. Headed in the right direction, the player smirked, saying it was better. This way, oh, talk about a disaster, they just realized it was a trap. Before they could react, Kang completely wiped out their entire group. The raid failed instantly, but Kang was not done causing chaos yet. He hunted down every opposing group, clearing the maze completely solo. His teammates, who did nothing but get carried, cheered and collected their rewards. Suddenly, a cold system notification chimed in with a warning. They had to agree on who got the loot, or everyone got nothing. It was a shared group prize, not individual. That is when Kang stepped forward, calmly claiming he did all the work and deserved everything. He asked if anyone had an issue. Only the spoiled kid complained, demanding the loot as payback for earlier events. This selfish move triggered a massive argument. Another player immediately claimed he was more deserving, bragging that he was the only one who actually helped Kang. A heated brawl erupted between the two as they prepared to fight. Kang was seriously not amused. The remaining two teammates tried to keep the peace, but Kang simply ran out of patience with them. He casually executed both of them, telling them to use some common sense. They got free experience and achievement points, so they should be grateful. Then he looked at the survivors, asking if anyone else had complaints. The remaining teammates stood completely frozen in absolute terror and stayed silent. Just like that, Kang took everything. Next, he unlocked a mysterious ticket, along with a random blessing. Naturally, he activates it right away. Even Blackie Egan praises his insane luck. Soon, the system prompts him with a choice. Combine skills, absolutely. He agrees instantly, knowing every extra bit of power counts. These permanent Monarch blessings never reset, meaning they stay forever. They carry over into the next season, making them vastly superior to normal cards. Kang wonders if a fire attribute tower would complement his new blessing. But Blackie immediately shuts it down with pure disgust. He despises fire, demanding a cold, dark place instead. Kang just rolls his eyes. Talk about high maintenance. Suddenly, an urgent system alert flashes. The sacred tower in Jahal called to him, pulled by his mysterious rank accessory. Will he answer? No rest for the weary, apparently. He accepts the prompt, teleporting straight into the heart of the tower. Upon arrival, a young woman declares that their goddess has answered her prayers. She genuinely believes he is the savior sent directly by the shadows. Kang immediately recognizes her as Princess Syria, the girl he rescued before. But something is majorly different. Her status has clearly elevated. She is no longer a princess. Syria now rules as their crowned queen. She commands her wary guards to lower their weapons, welcoming him warmly. Kang remembers her coronation well, but wonders why a powerful queen needs his help. He asks what kind of threat could possibly trouble a powerful queen. Syria explains that the elven kingdom of Io has conquered their holy land. Driven by utter heartbreak over the defeat, the old pope passed away. The new pope instantly rallied human kings to launch a massive holy war. It is a brutal, unforgiving religious conflict with no clear end. He suggests a simple, peaceful agreement, but Syria clarifies the situation is far worse. 3 powerful human nations have already deployed their massive armies to the front. Their target is this fortress, the closest stronghold to the Holy Land. She asks him to stand with her in this war. Before he can reply, he spots the King of Malice standing on the distant horizon. Syria is amazed by his sight. Without waiting, Kang preps his deck. Swapping his glasses for a powerful ice beam, he prepares to strike from afar. He tells the queen to relax. Suddenly, a scout eagle surveys the area. Kang moves into position. His upgraded weapon gives him perfect battlefield visibility. He fires a freezing blast directly at the enemy vanguard. But the human soldiers react instantly, raising massive barriers to block. The ice beams dissolve completely. Kang frowns, analyzing their defense. Are these shields protected by the Fire Monarch? Now things are getting weird. First the Snow Monarch, now this fire energy. What is happening behind the scenes? Meanwhile, an elite search party fans out, trying to pinpoint his sniper position. Ditching his sniper strategy, Kang leaps straight down from the high ridge. He crashes right into their front lines. Instantly, the elves back him up. Arrows rain down. The enemy squad leader orders his men to focus on Kang. He confidently claims no simple elven bow can pierce their defense. But he is dead wrong. The elves know exactly how to exploit the weakness. Chaos erupts as confused enemy soldiers mistake Kang for one of their own. He is the apostle of light. They cannot comprehend why he is fighting for their enemies. Kang summons Blackie to unleash his dark magic, but even the cat looks completely stunned. Suddenly, the king charges. He screams at everyone to never back down. This is Richard, the king of malice, and he tells his soldiers to stand tall. Richard commands his men to never abandon their god, but then he spots a massive threat. A giant shadow approaches to swallow his army, but he refuses to yield. Urging them to follow their god's will, the king brandishes his sword. With one strike, he shatters the dark barrier and charges forward. His sheer determination rallies his men. This completely catches Kang off guard. The human army surges straight toward Kang, determined to take him down. Kang watches them close the distance, but just as he prepares to strike back, things change. Sudden attacks rain down from the side as the elven warriors make their grand entrance. "Keep your eyes on the target," an elf yells, acting under their queen's direct orders. They confront the humans head-on. Kang realizes these soldiers are pure fanatics. Both sides clash violently. The brutal battle between humans and elves begins. Soldiers fall rapidly on both sides, but the humans are quickly losing their ground. The agile elves easily outmaneuver the heavy knights until King Richard himself steps in. He personally slaughters several elven warriors, but his eyes are fixed on a larger prize. Kang notices his advance and decides it is finally time to even the playing field. The absolute showdown begins. The king still views him as a traitorous apostle. He demands to know who Kang thinks he is fighting, but Kang just glares back. Kang coldly replies that he is just another enemy, a target with a massive bounty. Pondering if the king has a dragon heart, Kang slaps a death mark on him. Instantly, his system flashes. An exposed weakness debuff is successfully applied. The king's primary combat stats plunge by 500 points, sending him into a blind rage. Roaring that he will not fall to an insect, the king suddenly slaughters his own warhorse. By bathing in its warm blood, he channels dark magic to empower himself. Seriously, how is he still this strong after such a massive stat reduction? The empowered king lunges forward to crush him, but Kang is already one step ahead. Kang swaps his ice beam spell for sword manipulation from his deck. The duel kicks into high gear. Kang unleashes his powerful mental control. His swords dance wildly, wrapped in dark energy as bloody souls burst from the earth. They consume the king. Kang realizes the heavy bloodshed has supercharged his power. His system quickly confirms that all necessary requirements have been met. The system outlines the ability's exact area of effect. Then, he delivers the command. "Rise," he commands. Instantly, dead knights spring back to their feet. Fallen soldiers rejoin the fight, while the king bursts free from the bloody souls. He screams that bizarre magic will not stop him, but then he freezes in horror. The dead are rising. Even those taking their last breaths are standing back up. Now loyal to Kang, the king's own knights turn against their former leader. The devastated king screams in agony to his men, but they keep attacking. But then Kang's system blares a warning. The spell's area is too wide. His current necromancy skill is overloaded, causing the dark power to flicker. It deactivates, but Kang still defeats the king, later under a setting sun. Kang brings the king's severed head directly to the elven queen as proof. Syria thanks him for his help, but she notes they have only crushed one of the 3 pagan kings during this holy crusade. The battle has barely begun. Once night falls over the city, Kang takes a moment to admire the view. But a strange vibe suddenly spoils the peace. A sudden chill runs down his spine. Like blood on the wind, mood ruined, Kang heads back. Inside the castle, that is when the system vendor suddenly pops up to chat, revealing that he has completely maxed out his frost sword skill. Upgrading her shop unlocks the waking stone. Kang nods. He was waiting for this. She definitely wouldn't climb all the way up a tier 7 tower just for cheap sales. So he agrees to the upgrade. Instantly, his interface flashes with a notification. He unlocks the Frost Smith passive, gaining some incredible new stats. The next day, Kang is back on the battlefield, desperately itching to unleash his new frozen powers on the enemy. He freezes them effortlessly while having a blast, joking that the captain really loves his comfortable seat. even as his massive army gets totally wiped out. The captain is still relaxing inside his tent. If he doesn't show his face soon, Kang will drag him out himself. Thankfully, the queen had already provided some highly detailed secret intel. Bloodbeard had secretly relocated his elite units and pitched camp nearby. Kang praises the stealthy elven scouts, but the queen reveals it was actually human traitors who leaked it. She adds that the three kings leading this grand war have never really liked each other. They are still squabbling behind the scenes. True or not, this is a perfect opportunity to strike. Barbarossa is easily the most powerful of the three rulers. The queen asks Kang to personally lead an elite unit and eliminate him. Back in the present, Kang remembers the mission: eliminate the king silently to stay safe. The intelligence seemed perfectly accurate, but the target is missing. Kang carefully steps inside the dark tent and finds the coward hiding, demanding to know what is going on. Suddenly, the king collapses right in front of him, dropping a glass that shatters loudly on the ground. Instantly, Kang looks down and realizes something is terribly wrong. He suspects poison. The king was dead before the fighting even began. An elven soldier quickly approaches and sees the corpse, confirming his fears about a secret enemy lurking right there in their ranks. Ever since Season 1, those shadowy, faceless conspirators have manipulated entire kingdoms into war, sending lethal assassins to eliminate strong players from rival nations to fulfill their twisted goals. Kang is absolutely furious, finding this entire situation utterly ridiculous. He heads straight back to report that the king was poisoned by one of his own men. Syria immediately asks if the news leaked to anyone else. Kang suspects the king wanted a strong insurance policy. The queen simply cannot believe this could happen with the Grand Crusade so close. But Kang insists that is precisely the reason. This way, the king claims all the glory while completely breaking the balance between the three empires, killing two birds with one stone. The queen realizes they must now prepare to face the massive Supreme King's forces. However, Kang remains highly confident, claiming the remaining army will not retreat. Those units were sent to a crusade without a king to lead them. They are likely converging on the human camp. Suddenly, someone reports pagan assassins slaughtered Bloodbeard and his knights. Rumors instantly spread that these heretics are behind the king's sudden demise. Meanwhile, King Philip II declares that the hour is finally here. Fallen king's defeated troops will now follow his royal commands without hesitation. After all, the pagan forces easily crushed both Malice and Bloody Beard. His soldier suggests a plan: claim the Holy Land so everyone obeys. He eagerly agrees, even claims a direct divine revelation backed him up. His will matches God's. That conviction is how he manipulates his soldiers. Pure vengeance, that is the feeling he instills inside their hearts. He pushes the defeated king's remaining forces directly to the vanguard. Faith's angel is with them. Naturally, his men shouldn't doubt anything. Later on, Kane faces another army, a truly massive host. He spots Malice's cavalry, joining up with Bloody Beard's heavy infantry. One massive unified force. Worse yet, they fly the same banner. He realizes the truth. This is definitely Philip's doing, a total setup. Massive human army screams their holy battle cries, preparing to strike. Their slogans sound incredibly cheap, like direct quotes from history books. Does slaughtering enemies really bring peace? No time to ponder that. He prepares for war, quickly activating a store-bought buff called West Wind. A temporary buff, it will last until this battle finally ends. He unleashes a massive, biting blizzard across the entire battlefield. The opposing soldiers spot him. Kane stands tall, radiating sheer power. Their commander screams out, telling his men to survive the storm. Philip stays safe. He hides far behind the main military vanguard. Like other leaders, the king holds a Fire Monarch's blessing. He uses this power to boost his troops, but Kane has backup. The Shadow Monarch grants his own power directly to the Elven fighters. The Dark Council faction joins, followed by the Blizzard Monarch's blessing. And just like that, the Glacial Guardians arrive to turn the tide. Watching this massive clash from afar, Kane begins doubting this entire war. Is this truly divine will? He really can't tell anymore. Either way, any god orchestrating this bloody mess is pretty evil. Cut the nonsense. Blackie snaps at him to just do his job. Kane agrees, time to stop overthinking and dive into the fray. As he steps forward, his system flashes with an urgent alert. It warns him not to fail, granting 100 temporary shadow puppets. A massive backup force. Kang is actually pretty impressed by this. Honestly, both sides look identical right now. The humans boast massive power. They command 59 ranked Sentinel Angels, so Kang deploys his puppets. He lets them fight, saving his focus for King Philip. The two clash, but then Kang notices something incredibly strange. Philip's equipment looks exactly like gear worn by real players. Yet he talks like a simple non-playable character, a massive mystery. Could he actually be the original wielder of that golden fanaticism skill? Suddenly, Philip lunges from above, making Kang complain about flying opponents. But then a system alert pops up with a solution. He receives Raven wings, now he can fly too. He never even asked for wings. This sudden aerial battle completely ruins Kang's carefully structured deck, turning his hand into a pile of useless cards. Only Philip is thrilled, boasting that he finally has a worthy opponent. Their high-flying clash begins. Philip taunts him, claiming he is clearly struggling. In calling this punishment for betraying God's will, Kang decides to strike back, asking if poisoning Bloody Beard was also part of that divine plan. Philip fires back, accusing Kang of cheap tricks and swearing to ignore them. He rants about carrying out the Lord's decree and calls himself a seraphim. Claiming his actions match the divine perfectly, he lunges straight at Kang. Philip only strikes an ice decoy as Kang suddenly materializes right behind him. Wings are just an annoying distraction, he mutters, striking Philip's back. But the system warns him that this rank 8 seraph possesses the Supreme King's body. Suddenly, Philip glows, unleashing a massive shockwave that blasts Kang far backward. The wound Kang just inflicted instantly heals as Philip floats back up. He now sports a glowing halo and even larger wings as Kang watches. Kang realizes these angels are essentially just stealing mortal bodies. Then, his system pings. It reveals that the Fire Destroyer faction infused his light sword with infernal flames. Meanwhile, the Glacial Guardians have empowered his ice blade with Cassidus' chilled aura. This means Kang now wields power equal to his enemy. Suddenly, torrential rain begins to fall, soaking the soldiers far down on the ground. Watch closely now, because their high-altitude duel is about to turn absolutely brutal. The combat is brutal, and Kang seriously struggles to maintain his footing midair. Seizing a split second of distraction, Philip cleanly slices off one of Kang's wings. Believing victory is finally his, Philip goes all out to land a lethal blow. But Kang is far from finished. He still has one last trick to play. He summons Blackie, sending sharp spikes tearing straight through Philip's body. Kang then guides his flying swords telekinetically to deal even more devastating damage. He barely survives the onslaught, finally bringing the powerful King down for good. The system confirms he has successfully eliminated the vessel of the Archangel. Kang casually rips off his remaining wing, noting he has absolutely no use for it. Below, shocked soldiers watch their falling king plummet to the earth. They are completely stunned. Soon, other defeated angels begin falling as well. Suddenly, Kang's system alerts him that the story's flow has been heavily distorted. This altered timeline is now actively modifying his historical player equipment. He receives Philip's unique armor suit and 10,000 conquest points as a reward. He is just glad it is over, suddenly waking back in the real world. Kang is completely bewildered. He entered the tower from home, yet he woke up somewhere else entirely. His strange new armor raises countless questions, but Kang ignores the growing noise. He ignores them completely, right as his manager rushes over. His manager does a double take, since Kang looks entirely different now. He steps up, confronting the media himself. He tells them people love heroes, but secretly pray to see them fall. Honestly, he hates this job sometimes, questioning his duty. And since they pushed him this far, he is ready to throw it all away. Staring back at them, did they really love war that much? His chilling question silenced. Everyone, Kang described war, molten iron pouring down as you climbed. Castle walls, arrows tearing through flesh, getting sliced open, watching your guts spill out. Still, he pointed out it was the 21st century now. He wanted to show them what modern war looked like, describing devastating missiles raining from the sky, bullets tearing through flesh, and fighter jets bombing innocent people. Yet he added that no matter the era, the sight of spilling guts remained just as horrific. He hammered his point home, demanding an answer. One more time, did they really like war? The crowd mumbled, muttering that it was completely impossible. Nobody, winner or loser, could ever truly enjoy Something so horrifying. As they spoke, Kane's mind flashed back to his days in the tower. The queen had claimed she was satisfied with his revenge, but confessed she was actually terrified. Now, Kane asked what had scared her and Sirius answered that the end of war, the blood, and the endless deaths left a truly ghastly scene. It made her question if this was actually what their goddess had wanted, and Kane had reached that exact conclusion. Back in the present, he declared that no one likes war, but here is his spin: do they like heroes? The crowd cheered in massive agreement, but Kane immediately challenged them. How do heroes even become heroes? The only way, he explained, was by facing enemies and fighting in savage wars. You cannot have heroes without battles to win, right? So he concluded, deep down, people actually loved wars even if they would never admit it. A journalist fired back, calling his take completely absurd and wrong, arguing the current situation was just a product of modern times, totally different from his dark description. But Kane shot back, saying it was exactly like that. Their neighbors to the north were sending stealthy assassins to slaughter them, treating it like a game. He pointed out this was war disguised as espionage, which got the reporters buzzing instantly. They immediately demanded to know if foreign assassins had tried to kill Kane. He played dumb, pretending he had accidentally spilled top secret information. The journalists pressed for details, but Kane had already achieved his goal. But get ready, he then dropped a massive bombshell on them, something hidden until now. Kane got incredibly deep about the war, wondering if the world ended tomorrow, would everyone just keep fighting each other? He pointed out how players are forced to become their nation's strength, basically absolute weapons of war. Instead of fighting global threats, they just clash with their own country's enemies. Kane also noted that people think they can finish the season without him or the other war heroes, and the reporters swallowed this lie completely. He then asked why he had to go through all this intense trouble to save a world that clearly did not want him. Kane's entire speech went live worldwide, forcing leaders and VIPs from every nation to listen closely. Some grew highly nervous, but then a bold reporter stepped up, claiming the fight was absolutely worth it. Kane just shot back, asking why. Others quickly argued that innocent lives could never be sacrificed. They said a powerful player could not just abandon their responsibilities. Kane declared that anyone can choose to be a hero or a villain, making their own ultimate choice. But before Kang can even get another word out, his manager suddenly cuts him off, grabbing him by the arm to drag him away, claiming it is official business. Before leaving, Kang drops one final warning, making absolutely sure to tell everyone not to preach about a player's duty or personal beliefs. He explains that if an ignorant guy like him had actual convictions, he certainly would not take responsibility for the absolute mess the world is in right now, demanding they make sure to broadcast that part too. You just have to love his savage attitude. Meanwhile, Park offers to take him home, but Kang only cares about his sweet new rewards. Right then, his system alerts him to legendary loot, an amulet and a skill to strip enemies, but he decides to check it later. Back home, they see Kang's speech is already causing waves. It is making massive waves globally, while Park just wants to grab a cold drink and relax. He asks why Kang is still listening. Is he scared of the chaos? Kang is just surprised Park is not furious at him. Park explains he cannot be angry, since he can easily see that Kang has been struggling lately. He adds that nobody knows Kang better. Kang then mentions an acquaintance in France. Park insists Kang is on a totally higher level than her, which earns a soft thank you. Park appreciates the rare gratitude, then asks about his class. He recently awakened as a pure-blood assassin. He then happily shows off his brand new gear, including a legendary heart-cut dagger. Park also heard that Kang corrupted a legendary rank piece of equipment. Kang just shrugs, saying things simply had to happen that way. His friend urges him to take a break, warning he will seriously hurt himself otherwise. He reminds Kang of the Tier 7 tower waiting. Of course, Park's idea of rest is definitely unique, but once inside the tower, Park tells his friend to get ready, warning them of betrayal, secret feuds, and the organization's ultimate wickedness. The protagonist decides it is time to switch up the story's vibe, so they enter the Godfather and Alley Tower. Somewhere else in the heavy pouring rain, a woman slowly hands a mysterious item to someone. She tells him to finish the task before the upcoming meeting. He takes it, as she stresses that this is all for the sake of justice in their world. After that, the woman checks the time only to find her watch has stopped, and she grows. Sad remembering her godfather had gifted it, nearby, Kang and Park seek shelter from the downpour, recognizing them and calling out for help. She explains they are in Black York City, where the Capone family faces a major crisis. Pleading that their job is to fix it, she urges Kang and Park to follow her to her boss. As they walk through the streets, she explains that 5 powerful families control all of Black York. She adds that in just 4 short days, a massive meeting is scheduled between several groups, but tragedy recently struck. The first godfather, former head of the Capone family, and many of his people were brutally killed. She shares her own story, explaining how she grew up as an orphan on the streets. She was lucky enough to awaken powers, but they were pretty useless until her godfather adopted her and changed her life. Kang, however, does not seem too interested in her backstory. Regardless, she continues explaining. She had only managed to rescue a single survivor, the old godfather's son, now the organization's current leader. The moment they stepped into the room, this new boss stepped up to greet them. He puffed out his chest and proudly declared himself the head of the Capone family. But Park just smirked, immediately calling him nothing but a little boss. That instantly annoyed the kid, who snapped that his name was Vito Capone. As the rightful heir, calling him a little boss was a massive insult. Rebecca quickly stepped in to soothe him, saying these foreigners just lacked class. They simply did not understand how to recognize his powerful presence as a leader. With his ego fully fed, the young boss announced he was on a tight schedule. He wanted to get straight to business and ordered Rebecca to start the briefing. Meanwhile, Kang stayed completely quiet in the corner, calmly watching the show unfold. After a short talk, Rebecca laid out their ultimate target. They had to fully revive the glory of the Capone family. At the big summit of the 5 great families in 4 days, they needed massive attention. They also needed to find the masterminds who killed the previous boss. Kang chimed in, asking if they had any prime suspects in mind. Rebecca explained the killers were likely either rival family leaders or old allies. Specifically, someone who used to be part of their inner alliance. Their prime target was Gambino, a weakened boss who seemed desperate for war. Kang slowly flipped through the files, a dangerous look in his eyes. Talk about a direct solution. He casually asks if he should just execute everyone. Rebecca actually loved the idea. Why not just wipe them all out right now? They would have to do it eventually, but Kang knew their young boss would hesitate. Vito spoke up, explaining the Capone family had always preferred a different level of power. They reached their absolute peak under his father, and he trusted their legacy. Having watched Rebecca for 20 years, he knew her traditional methods worked best. But Kang immediately reminded the kid that he was the boss, not her. Vito had to make the ultimate decision. He was the boss. Vito admitted Rebecca had far more experience, but Kang pushed him for an answer. Did he actually want to massacre all their rivals or not? Vito admitted that unless they were directly guilty, they should avoid mindless bloodshed. He asked Rebecca if she could handle things his way this time. Though highly reluctant, she bowed to his authority, and the mission officially began. Park immediately suggested targeting the nearby Callio family first to gather clues. Kang laughed, telling Park he was starting to sound like a genuine bad guy. Park simply shrugged, saying this whole world was just a game to them anyway. Just minutes later, the armed guards of the Callio family were mobilizing. They were ready to shred whoever dared step onto their territory. But the 2 friends struck so fast, they barely had time to react. Park shouted for them to yield and cooperate if they wanted to live. No way, the guards yelled they would never betray their own kin. All right then, Park told them they could die right here. Just then, a trembling man rushed out, demanding why they were attacking. Park looked him over, asking if this coward was the head of the Callio family. One of the guards scoffed, stating their real leader would never show up here. The new guy tells Kang to go have fun with the henchman, leaving him totally confused. They were supposed to go in together, but Park claims he only came here to get some rest. Instead, Park decides to handle the job himself. Kang is caught off guard but doesn't argue. He agrees to clear the path so Park can move ahead. Park charges in, ready to strike. He vows to take down the boss himself, leaving Kang to handle the remaining henchmen. A mysterious figure watches from high above, tracking his every move. Then he vanishes like a shadow. Meanwhile, Park is busy clearing the enemy headquarters. Suddenly, both he and Kang notice something strange flying nearby. Crows, just a bunch of crows. The Callio family was wiped out earlier, remember? Now the Gambino family is their next target. This is where things get serious. Kang stands back, watching the entire place get absolutely trashed. It has been a long time since he last saw Park fight with everything he has got. Even if they share a dark side, Kang prefers to keep his own hidden. He gently pets Blackie and tells the cat to finish off the remaining survivors. Blackie grumbles, noting that Kang is just being lazy and dumping the work on him. No arguments there. Eventually, the pair settles down at a local diner. Park starts teasing Kang immediately, calling him lazy for his terrible eating habits. Apparently, since they arrived, Kang has only eaten burgers morning, noon, and night. Kang defends his choices, claiming these are the absolute best burgers ever. He just wants to enjoy them as much as possible before heading back. Park suggests local food, but Kang points out he rarely gets a break. He does not want to waste his rare vacation stressing over meals. He shifts the topic, asking what the Gambino boss told him. The manager shrugs and says the boss knows absolutely nothing. Kang remembers Park taking this seriously, but the manager says the boss was useless. He would have been useless anyway. Meanwhile, the Gambino boss is absolutely fuming. The mob leader makes call after call, but gets zero answers from anyone. No response from the Sanchez or the Falcons, which deeply worries him. He fears their powerful alliance is completely shattered. Spitting mad, the boss knows exactly who is responsible for this nightmare. He remembers Park's chilling warning: in 72 hours, his heart will stop. It will explode without a specific pressure point trick to restart it. Park had asked if he understood, and the boss had to agree. He promised the Gambino family would stay far away from the upcoming meeting. Plus, he agreed to help track down the people who killed Capone. Park called him smart and left, letting him live for now. But the boss is still suffering terribly from the deadly technique. The promised cure has not happened yet because the grand meeting hasn't started. Hearing this, Kang sighs and says they have got nothing. The manager reassures him, confident they will learn something at the gathering. It is just a hunch, but he senses another major player beyond the 5 families. Soon, the big moment arrives as families pour into the meeting hall. They wait in tense silence for everyone to take their seats. Marcellus, a major figure, declares it is getting late. The Gambino boss points out that 2 families have not even shown up. Vito notices Falcon and Sanchez are missing, instantly deducing they killed his father. Rebecca stops him, telling him not to jump to conclusions, advising him to observe first. Vito agrees, calling her the wisest when someone suddenly bursts in with urgent news. Meanwhile, Park and Kang watch from a distance as the new guy reveals the Falcon and Sanchez bosses are dead. Kang realizes they now have another enemy to deal with. Park comments that it is no wonder the 5 families seemed so weak. Kang starts to say he thought he was getting stronger. But Park cuts him off. Lights out. A single spotlight hits the stage. A mysterious hooded figure appears, declaring it is perfect to gather all the disgusting trash staining the city in one place, accusing them of dealing with corrupt politicians and exploiting workers through union manipulation. He calls them despicable criminals, always lying and causing chaos. He exposes their crimes, introducing himself as the mysterious Knight. He declares he is here for justice, while Vito asks if this Night Raven killed the other bosses. Knight confirms it, calling those villains cruel, saying their deaths were a small price. He adds that Vito's father faced the same fate, warning Vito that he will suffer too, calling him a villain's son. He attacks, throwing sharp feathers like projectiles. Rebecca instantly shields Vito, telling him not to expose himself to danger. Vito shouts that Night Raven killed his father and wants revenge. Rebecca feels his pain, stating a price must be paid for the sake of this world. Vito's system immediately alerts him that anti-hero Nightcrow is executing justice. Kang chimes in, despicable villains deserve this punishment. He then unleashes dark magic and his familiar Blackie into the fight. Kang reveals a shocking truth. The true mastermind, Raiden King, was behind everything all along. Vito, the protagonist, hits Night Raven with his own dark magic, cornering the adversary. Yet, Night Raven finds a sudden opening and counterattacks, almost getting killed. Kang sees his struggling cat familiar Blackie struggling too much, thinking he needs to feed it better. Kang decides to jump into action immediately. Kang grabs his opponent by the cloak, slamming him with a blast of magic. Night Raven is hit with a Deathmark debuff, which also exposes his weaknesses. Vito acts, activating his gossip keyword. This Instantly shows him the target's full attribute window. It also lets him stack the exposed weaknesses debuff even further. This move spills all of Raven's secrets. Suddenly, his cloak radiates negative energy. His sharp feathers are a threat, plus he is hiding a bunch of explosives. Raven has no clue. He is fighting a dark clone of Kang, which is watching his every move. Kang just cannot believe this cosplay suicide bomber thinks he is a hero. Raven quickly realizes he is completely outmatched. He asks if Kang is a stranger but gets no reply, so Raven takes action, summoning several Bond Ravens that explode anything in their path. Park is shocked, wondering why there are so many of them. Park is an expert in individual combat, but he sees Kang fighting Raven alone. Kang tells him the bosses are the Parks, and Park must protect them no matter what, insisting his friend is better at protecting than he is. Park doesn't wait. Kang claims his friend is the better protector, but Park doesn't buy it. Sure, but Kang insists killing is his specialty, and he intends to do just that. Suddenly, Raven screams that outsiders should actually be fighting for world peace. Why act like brainless puppets of evil? He demands an immediate answer. To Kang, all this talk about peace and union makes absolutely zero sense. Raven yells back, furious that Kang let these rotten villains completely trick him. He calls them ruthless murderers who wiped out the entire Capone family. They literally bought their freedom, bribing powerful people because they feared revenge. For Raven, this rot is the city's true nature, which is why they demand justice. It is not too late. He will keep fighting for real justice here. The kid begs Kang to stand with him against these corrupt monsters. Kang is not listening. Right mid-speech, he brutally strikes the boy. Kang snaps that he talks too much, adding that he despises masked cowards. But when the mask slips, Kang stops cold, seriously, who expected a literal child under there. Raven warns him not to mock his justice, making one last desperate move. He triggers a hidden bomb, catching Kang completely off guard. Boom. Raven reveals that a woman told him about this spot 3 days ago. He asks Kang how many more bombs he thinks are hidden nearby. Fire erupts everywhere, but Kang barely dodges as his partner arrives to help. With Blackie's help, they escape as a massive fireball lights up the sky. Next morning, things quiet down, and Rebecca thanks them for their loyalty. She explains that most of the rival businesses now belong to her. But Kang cuts in, letting her know the young boys survived their fight. She smiles, calling it a job well done, but Kang has a question. He asks if this entire setup was actually her plan all along. Rebecca snaps, demanding to know what any of that has to do with him. Kang replies that his sole duty is wiping out all Capone family enemies. He accuses her of murdering the Godfather and hiring a hitman to execute other bosses. That makes her an enemy, though Rebecca instantly demands to see proof. But Kang has undeniable proof. The boy confessed to everything. The kid admitted she leaked family secrets to help clear out rivals. She set up the young kid as a puppet while she quietly ruled Black York City. Rebecca desperately denies it, crying out that she did it all for Vito. She insists Vito is far too sweet and innocent. So she eliminated the abusive Godfather to protect Vito from the world's cruelty. To her, this was just a guardian's duty, but Kang is not buying it. He accuses her of betraying her savior just to use his son as a puppet. She just wanted to be queen. Game over. Park steps in. He tells her she is no protector, having made the kid completely helpless. Rebecca snaps back, screaming that no dirty outsider has any right to judge her. Park suggests they ask Vito himself. Total panic. Rebecca completely freezes. Young boy was actually listening to the entire conversation, tears streaming down his face. She tries to explain, but Vito shocks them all. He unleashes a hidden power, overpowering her while whispering she was absolutely right. This world is cruel. With the mission finally accomplished, they head back home. Park complains about the lack of adventure, while Kang remains completely silent. He is glad to head home without the press, his friend even suggests doing it again, but then his assistant arrives with terrible news. Disaster, the Tier 5 tower in Central Seoul Union is about to collapse. Even Kang feels a chill. This specific tower was previously rated by association players. They failed hard and barely escaped. A teammate warns they will face 3 heavy penalties. That means demotion. Another player suggests a risky fix. Try hard mode instead. Everyone else freezes, but he argues they have worked way too hard to lose their standing. No going back to. Bottom, they refuse to be association slaves. They must clear those penalties. And hard mode is the only option. They tried again but were completely wiped out. On the road, Kang reflects on the brutal system of merits and penalties. He thinks it is totally unfair. A tower breakdown is incredibly rare, yet in the early seasons, this catastrophe happened constantly. Back then, raids had zero strategy. Failure was the norm. The price was devastating, causing countless deaths. It claimed many lives, including Kang's own family, even after he became a player, but things are different now. He decides to unlock all his uncollected gear and skill packs. His current setup is already strong, but there is absolutely zero room for error, no compromises. He prepares for something massive, building a completely new skill deck now. Soon his ride arrives. The second he steps out, the crowd goes wild. The Hero King is here, but Kang is only focused on what lies ahead. He looks up, a black portal is tearing open. Honestly, who wouldn't panic? The crowd descends into chaos. While players brace themselves, Kang steps forward. He orders everyone meeting his conditions to leave immediately. First, if you might get hit by his skills, run. Second, if you can't keep up, run. And third, absolutely everyone else should leave as well. They get the message and retreat, leaving Kang entirely alone to work. He stands before the horde. Moving fast, he slices them down. More and more bizarre creatures crawl out. Then he suddenly spots something totally wrong. Normally, monsters from a tower break are the citizens of the world inside, but these beasts do not fit. They are completely unrelated. Where are they even coming from? Suddenly, a news helicopter flies in, attempting to cover the action. The reporter declares that while the Hero King is controversial, his skills get the job done. Suddenly, Kang gets a chilling alert. The Monarch of the Abyss is summoning deep darkness. Right then, the reporter warns the portal is changing color, a prelude to an abyss monster's arrival. How is that even possible? Kang quickly rushes toward the helicopter. He orders them to leave immediately before they are thrown straight into the monster horde, pushing forward. He wonders if the Monarch is acting alone. Then, his system screams. The abyss slime has emerged. Kang expected this. He immediately attacks, but wonders if it will be enough. He must end this instantly. Just one hit, he charges an ice attack, blending it with deadly shadow magic and Charlotte's Web. He connects 2 points, weaving a deadly trap with massive slashing power. Kang combines his attacks, crushing the massive abyss slime. He successfully prevents the tower break. Even the terrifying abyss monarch is left so impressed that he presents Kang a rare gem as a prize. Back in the real world, reporters swarm him like crazy. The entire nation witnesses the mighty Hero King stop the tower collapse completely single-handedly. While the news spreads everywhere, Kang only feels frustrated. He openly blames the association, explaining that the high-ranking hunters actually failed the raid, panicked over steep penalties, and ran away. Their sheer cowardice is what triggered the near disaster. The media immediately turns to grill the association. The executives admit some blame but desperately make excuses for their failure. For Kang, his goal is reached now that the public is holding these elites accountable. He celebrates this brief victory with his close friend Park, who insists they must seize this perfect moment to fully clean up the corrupt association. Kang jokingly asks if he plans to run for president. Park just laughs, explaining his true plan is to establish a brand new guild. Kang immediately brings up the harsh laws, stating each country is restricted to one official guild, making this dream practically impossible. But Park fires right back, arguing that this is the absolute best time to take action and change that foolish rule. He highlights the absolute absurdity of the association. How can they manage rules for dungeons when none of them have ever stepped inside one? Park adds that they only favor players with wealthy corporate sponsors, completely ignoring the rest. He believes that with public backing on their side, they can completely flip the system. Kang can only sigh and wish his friend good luck. But Park insists this concerns Kang too. Kang tries to argue, saying the duty belongs to Park alone, but Park completely disagrees. Park points out that the entire public supports the Hero King, so he insists Kang must be the person to lead the new guild. Soon after, a petition demanding another guild passes 170,000 signatures. The old guild naturally rejects it. Public support is shifting fast toward the Hero King and veteran hunters, which only makes the association president furious. He is certain Kang and his Manager are pulling the strings. He claims they do not understand the real danger that unmanaged hunters pose to innocent citizens. He points out that in some countries, weak governments let powerful guilds team up with the criminal underworld. He even explains how entire nations have been completely taken over by dark players. Even the United States, which allows private guilds, relies on its military to control its most powerful hunters. The president views every player as a walking bomb. Without absolute regulation, they will become impossible to handle. Because of that, he believes that anyone opposing his rules is just being narrow-minded and fails to understand how the harsh world operates. Suddenly, his phone rings, flashing a dark notification. The wicked monarch is watching him, asking if the president wants to accept a terrifying tower challenge. Meanwhile, a classic commercial starts playing on televisions everywhere, showcasing our legendary hero. Viewers immediately recognize his outdated armor from the previous season, leaving them wondering why this ancient clip is still being broadcasted. Meanwhile, Kang is quietly contemplating the idea of that new guild. Park had really pressured him to build it, but Kang saw nothing but major flaws with the plan. The man told him not to sweat the small details. He just needed to step up and be the leader while his manager handled the busy work. Park insisted that to save their world, they absolutely needed the Hero King, and Kang was the only man for the job. Kang pondered that, wondering why the legendary Hero King always charged headfirst into battle before anyone else. To him, his real calling was simply clearing towers. He checked his system for dungeons matching his level, but came up empty. So he disabled his tracker. He knew there were always backdoors into these places. Sometimes you just grabbed an amulet and waited for the invite. After his last run, the boss dropped an amulet for him. Kang knew these items were the primary link between the dungeons and reality, but he had a gut feeling that he would not get a summon anytime soon. All he could do was wait. Then an alarm blared across the city. A tower of departure was manifesting. Soon, everyone would watch the elite players from Season 5 battle it out. Live, Kang did not completely understand, but his screen flashed a red warning. The clown Monarch was incredibly excited for him to join the fray. Worldwide guilds scrambled, completely blind about this tower, and the whole world was watching live. But here is the catch: if the players fail, 100 million innocent people will die. Kang was shaken at first, but then he realized this was precisely the push he needed. In an instant, his fear turned to resolve. He signed up for this deadly game, and alongside countless other hunters from around the globe, he stepped into the light at that exact moment. Inside, Kang recognized some familiar allies. He admitted he could barely contain his excitement, seeing everyone gathered like this after so long. The Saint stepped forward to greet him, prompting Kang to ask if she was wearing a costume. She chuckled and said no, preferring his usual look anyway. He immediately shot back, demanding to know when he had ever looked different. She brought up the level 7 dungeon raid, admitting she was deeply worried watching him look completely drained on screen. Realizing her genuine care, he quickly reassured her, insisting he was fine and would never stop fighting. Right then, another hunter stepped in, sneering that if Kang was so weak, he should just back out now. Claiming to be the last Hero King, what an ego, this self-proclaimed savior mocked how an elite ranker like Kang was the absolute slowest to arrive. Kang instantly snapped back, explaining that timing is irrelevant when 100 million innocent lives are on the line. He asked if the guy expected some cliché movie moment where the late hero arrives to save the day. But the rival pushed back, arguing that the vanguard always shoulders the most danger. Kang absolutely was not having it and openly provoked the guy, mockingly asking if he practiced that speech. He basically accused him of putting on a big show while actually caring about nothing. Naturally, the rival took offense, and their petty bickering quickly escalated into a massive fight. Suddenly, a veteran hunter stepped in to break them up. Kang immediately confronted him, demanding to know why he showed up without the proper battle gear. The veteran calmly replied that the season had not officially started yet, genuinely believing that no one would actually die in this dungeon, reminding them that the entire world was watching. Just then, the system chimed in with a fresh alert, announcing that players would temporarily receive a complete 5th season endgame gear set until they departed the tower. Skills and equipment immediately started distributing. Look at that glow. Meanwhile, the old man, who introduced himself as Jor, the gravedigger and CEO of an artifact company, Said this powerful gear would make the chance of anyone dying even lower. With York assisting, the players felt their power surge, ready for battle. Then a woman approached Maria, shaking her head in complete disbelief. This was Lydia, an elite international master player and a police officer. She could not believe they were playing foolish mind games at such a critical moment, quipping that men's maturity really had no limits. The saint reminded them to keep in mind how many lives hung in the balance of this tower raid. Suddenly, Lieutenant General Kilgore from the United States joined them, declaring that everyone must fulfill their duties to the world and their nations. The gravedigger warned everyone to be extremely careful with their actions in this place. Kang, however, muttered they should have just broadcast the pestilence Lord raid instead. Right then, a mysterious new figure appeared, greeting them and offering an apology for the delay. This masked stranger announced that the event was a festival for them, a celebration to honor the great heroes who defeated the pestilence lord. He then officially welcomed all the gathered fighters. Kang immediately challenged him, asking why he celebrated a monarch's death when they were supposedly friends. The masked figure casually advised the young hero king not to provoke the powerful monarchs, asking if Kang preferred the title of Monarch Slayer, a brutal name he earned by crushing the season's boss. Meanwhile, the Red Guardian, being highly competitive with Kang, completely refused to recognize that some young punk had claimed that title. He wanted to do something about it. Still, the masked figure insisted this was a celebration in honor of the players, hoping they would not feel stressed. But the Red Guardian suddenly lunged at the masked man, yelling if this was some kind of joke. He shouted that they could not treat 100 million lives as a celebration. Kang just watched, finding the Red Guardian absolutely pathetic. He figured he was only doing this to look good for the public. The masked man then told the Red Guardian his attacks were pointless anyway. They were all nullified, so he was just wasting energy. With a snap, he announced it was time to explain the basic tower rules. He told all the viewers watching to vote for their favorite player. Soon, the broadcast audience would decide who became the tower's hero. Kang got annoyed immediately, complaining they could easily rig the whole vote, but the masked man quickly covered Kang's mouth. He warned him to be careful what he said, reminding him they had strict rules to follow. The masked man explained that their mission was simple: grab the viewers' attention and keep them entertained. How they did it was totally up to them. Each player's individual votes would turn into points, but if the vote count was too low or if they failed to keep people watching, the raid would fail, and a failed raid meant millions would die. So the masked man told them all to get moving. They had to use everything. They had to put on an epic show for the right away. The Red Guardian and the Swordmaster challenged the Hero King. They want an arena duel, but Kang just asks why he even has to bother. The masked man explains that a challenge from an opponent cannot be turned down. Besides, even if someone dies inside the arena, they just respawn anyway. He summons the arena, locking everyone inside until the tower voting finishes. Before things get ugly, the protagonist has one simple question. He asks the Red Guardian if he really wants a rematch after getting crushed. The Guardian fires back: if he cannot defeat the Hero King now, nothing matters. All his votes are useless. He vows to avenge that painful first loss. Driven by pure rage, he intends to settle the score right now. He charges. Kang, on the other hand, decides to play some mind games. He sneers: hitting rock bottom must feel pretty terrible, does it not? The Red Guardian takes the bait, unleashing his attacks with savage fury. The lone sword of the Nine appears. Yet the Hero King matches him blow for blow, without breaking a sweat. Even crazier, he is somehow executing the Guardian's exact signature moves. The Gravedigger watches, realizing this must be a skill copy. The Red Guardian notices too. Did the king contract the Monarch of Mirrors? The Guardian spent his whole life perfecting this style, yet it is failing him. He simply cannot understand how the protagonist is outclassing him in this duel. From the sidelines, the Gravedigger finds the Hero King's display absolutely magnificent. He wonders aloud how any of them could ever hope to defeat such a monster. Lydia scoffs, reminding him that he is not even the one fighting the king. But the Gravedigger snaps back. She is completely blind to the truth. The real threats to the Hero King are actually the other players around them. Lydia realizes he is right, appalled by their selfish behavior given the stakes. Meanwhile, the Saint is the only one genuinely troubled by the unfolding chaos. Over 100 million lives rely completely on the outcome of this tower. Yet the other players only care about defeating the hero king and climbing higher. Watching this, Maria recalls Kang's chilling words from before. He said that even if the world ended tomorrow, humans would keep fighting. Now she realizes just how painfully right he was. During the first 2 seasons, everyone entered the tower to save humanity. Those days are long gone, and Maria wonders why things changed. Sure, players grew stronger, but the tower's tiers climbed even faster. Bosses have become ridiculously powerful, making survival nearly impossible. Uniting to save the world has become nothing but a foolish fairy tale. Maria is no longer the innocent awakened girl she once was. Different races, different beliefs, different backgrounds, all divided. If they cannot unite when extinction is on the line, how can they survive? That question haunts her as the deadly clash in the arena rages on. In the midst of combat, the Red Guardian senses something highly unusual. The system is unfair, but he believes he can read the protagonist's moves. No matter how overwhelming the hero king is, a secret must exist. If he can just expose Kang's true power, he might stand a chance. He could definitely beat him. Honestly, the Red Guardian did not even care about winning or losing. He just wanted to uncover his opponent's secret. Monstrous strength, but he was failing. Kang told him he seemed to have forgotten his place, considering how easy Kang had been going on him. That completely froze the Red Guardian. Sensing the opening, Kang seized the moment. Attacking with even more crushing force, the Red Guardian quickly realized his opponent had way more hidden tricks than he ever imagined. Then Kang declared he was about to show the real difference to anyone who dared to challenge him. Instantly, Kang unleashed a devastating ground strike. It ripped through a massive chunk of the battlefield. The Red Guardian was completely shocked. All his backup plans totally ruined. Everything was going sideways fast. Then Kang activated his secondary deck. He burst straight out of a sandstorm, looking completely different. Get ready, because everyone watching was absolutely stunned right now. The Red Guardian completely lost all hope of winning. That is because the protagonist manifested a mythical power, the manifestation of the celestial demon. Kang transformed into a celestial demon, wielding 3 formidable celestial demon swords. He entered his first form, tearing open a dimensional rift of pure power. It sliced through his opponent from multiple directions, leaving the Red Guardian gushing blood. Next, Kang activated the second form of the 3 celestial demon swords, known only as destruction. The other players are speechless. The Red Guardian went down way too fast. The masked man declares the match over. He praises the hero king for a magnificent fight, just as he expected. Then he announces that voting has begun. The numbers climb, but the red player stays stuck at 0. Kang acts like it is nothing, but he looks super villainous now. Let me tell you, his vibe is incredibly dark. The gravedigger is taken aback. Kang Yusung is completely unrecognizable. Even the girls are startled seeing him, but the audience loves watching Kang. Some players notice Kang copied the gravedigger's gear and skills. 2 friends chat. One asks how Kang can even be human like them. His friend corrects him, saying Kang kept them all alive. The first friend asks what they should call Kang. The other says he is simple, the hero king. Kang then asks the other players about their shocked faces. He asks if they have never seen his copying ability before. The gravedigger points out that Kang's copying ability alone cannot explain the celestial demon manifestation. Lydia agrees. She says this is not just a simple copy. She has fought another copy user before, the Face Collector, a terrible black player who hides his rank. He copied opponents by literally slicing off their faces and wearing them. Lydia admits Kang's skill is similar, but says there are limits to mere copying. Kang explains he obviously has more than just a copying ability. He asks if they are that curious since they are both trying to keep poker faces. He agrees to tell them one thing. Kang then drops his biggest secret. He made a pact with a monarch of truth. That is why he can only speak the truth, even as the world shifts around him. The gravedigger Jor looks at Kang's appearance and figures he will be his next opponent. But Kang shoots back that he hates fighting more than anything. He also hates aggressive idiots. York Bill Mayer, clearly not knowing his place, demands to figure out what Kang is planning. He states that from now on, he will convince the crowd using one simple truth. But the masked man interrupts, arguing that self-promotion is absolutely crucial for voting. Suddenly, the stage shifts and Kang prepares to Speak, he taps the mic, asking if everyone is actually paying attention. He declares they have no choice anyway, then suddenly spots his own face on the television. Next, he switches the channel himself. Regardless, he announces 10 heroes are gathered inside. The tower and everyone must vote for one. If the total is too low, 100 million. People will get a one-way ticket straight to oblivion. Everyone needs to understand how critical this vote really is. Kang points out that even the absolute worst terrorists have become presidents with enough backing. If things go wrong, the same could happen to their heroes. The gravedigger tries warning Kang to watch his words, but Kang is absolutely not listening. He shoots back, asking what the issue is and if he is just annoyed that these so-called heroes are losing their relevance. He points out how incredibly bizarre it is that people still worship these national figures, especially after all the ugly drama that went down between them. Then, noticing the old man's discomfort, Kang mockingly asks if the gravedigger's dream of rebuilding the Third Empire was supposed to be some highly classified, top-secret thing. The gravedigger instantly demands to know how Kang dares insult someone without a shred of proof, but Kang only smirks because he holds a contract with the Monarch of Truth. And honestly, that means he can expose any dark secret, he declares. Everything he says is absolutely 100% true, without any arguments. Kang urges the viewers to vote carefully. He warns them that it is not just one or two lunatics hiding among the active players. Then, he drops a name. Count Vladimir. The Count is visibly blindsided, stammering and claiming he has absolutely no clue what Kang is talking about. Kang simply raises an eyebrow, saying, "That is pretty strange, since Vladimir himself spoke about rebuilding the Empire." Vladimir frantically tries to shut him up, but that only fuels Kang even more. He keeps pushing, exposing all the Count's dirty laundry for the world to see. Kang even taunts him, saying if Vladimir has some major issue, he should wait for his turn to show off his own magic. The Count roars back, declaring he will absolutely not tolerate this kind of public humiliation anymore, not with his parents and president watching. Kang mockingly adds that Vladimir is a devout man, even though he commands a powerful fire attribute. Next, Kang ruthlessly targets the infamous Lieutenant General Kilgore. He claims Kilgore also loves playing with fire, and not just metaphorically, specifically referring to Kilgore's secret habit of dropping highly destructive bombs on enemy nations. Kilgore gets incredibly tense, demanding to know if Kang truly understands the dangerous consequences of his incredibly bold words. Kang replies with a firm yes. He declares that compared to actual world-saving heroes, a nationalist lunatic like the gravedigger, a greedy imperialist like Count Vladimir, and a war maniac like General Kilgore are nothing but opportunists. Kang warns that people definitely will not be happy to hear this ugly truth. Kilgore, completely enraged, immediately attacks, but Kang blocks him instantly, demanding to know what the hell he is doing. Kilgore snaps back, asking if Kang is seriously underestimating him. Oh, he has no idea what is coming because Kang is about to bring out the heavy artillery. The watching girls scream, shouting that this crazy general is trying to kill him. Kilgore unleashes his power. He prepared to use Entra Diablo but froze. Shocking. Kang did the exact same thing. Kilgore stared in disbelief, demanding to know how Kang copied his move, but Kang just shrugged, replying that the skill was not so exclusive after all. Then, George Belmere, the gravedigger, stepped forward. He asked if the arrogant hero King believed he would survive after slandering and attacking his comrade's honor. Kang immediately fired back, asking if George even considered those people to be comrades. How could real allies try to stab him in the back at the first opportunity? The gravedigger quickly tried to claim it was all just a simple misunderstanding, but Kang was not buying it. He reminded them of his contract with the Monarch of Truth. He knew all their darkest secrets. They had been doing whatever they wanted for ages, but now that they were on camera, they suddenly got so nervous. Why worry? Kang openly challenged them. Not like them at all. He promised he could keep exposing them all day. He knew the world would not change anyway. Hearing this, George Belmere asked if the hero king was going to whine like a spoiled brat. Kang shot back. As a child, he could not handle dealing with old men. This blatant disrespect highly amused the clown monarch, who instantly granted the protagonist his wish, summoning the legendary celestial demon right after. The gravekeeper just watched, utterly confused. What was the protagonist even planning? Meanwhile, Kang smiled, knowing his requested wish was finally coming true. The Masked Man announced his speaking time was up, saying it was time for another hero to speak since everyone deserved a fair shot. Saintess Maria stepped forward to announce she had something massive to share with the public. The masked man instantly changed the broadcast setting, letting Maria speak to the world freely. The protagonist found her chosen setting incredibly weird, but the Saintess cut him off. Shut up, she told him. It was her turn, but Kang did not. Down, casually calling her darling just to mess with her. Maria then declared she would expose the real hero king to the world right now. That warning hit hard, making the entire audience incredibly anxious, including Kang Yusung himself. He tried to interfere, but Maria just taunted him, asking her darling what was wrong. Kang jokingly wondered if it was too late to apologize now, after her speech. The tower was finally cleared. Get ready, the voting results are about to drop. The protagonist reviewed the data, scratching his head in confusion until he realized they were completely manipulated, but he did not really care since he had won what was rightfully his. Suddenly, a notification screen popped up, confirming he had successfully unlocked the celestial demon manifestation. He now possessed all three divine relics, the legendary mythological equipment, a unique title, and a fresh skill. Only 3 months had passed, and he had not even opened the mythological equipment called Black Death, which he claimed after defeating the Pestilence Lord. Mythological skills and weapons are not for just anyone. You have to be fully qualified, fail the trial and your stats tank or you outright die. Even the Guardian suffered a devastating penalty after failing a single challenge, but our protagonist had already survived this process during his previous run. He knew he could equip this gear now. He could easily swap his primary weapon later, and activating the skill immediately would grant a massive advantage. So he unleashed the celestial demon, manifesting his power for the very first time, but his system warns him he must prove his worth. Suddenly, Kang gets flashed away to an entirely different location. An old man stands right there, waiting to test his resolve. Kang tells him he is only here to cut a deal and hopes this wraps up quickly. Suddenly, the system confirms the trial has officially begun. He just has to survive 2 strikes from this celestial demon. As the opponent raises his sword, Kang instantly senses something is horribly wrong. The Elder unleashes the deadly triple sword technique right away. The speed is terrifying. Somehow, Kang barely manages to throw up a defense. He admits this gets his blood pumping, having survived this exact strike once before. His opponent lunges forward again. Kang blocks the hit, but this time the shockwave is absolutely massive. The old master actually gets pushed back by the force. Slowly sheathing his blade, the Elder realizes Kang carries a new title. Kang asks if he is talking about the Monarch Slayer title. The Elder nods, asking if he truly earned such a crown. Kang confirms it. Since the trial is done, he asks if this Elder will always appear when he summons the celestial demon. The old man is still completely stunned by the news. Kang asks if something is wrong, but the old man simply says he likes Kang. Then the entire space begins to move. Kang demands to know why, but his opponent ignores him. Instead, he lunges forward, demanding to see Kang's true swordsmanship. They are fighting again, but Kang has no idea why. He thought the trial was already finished. The Elder will not stop. Kang begs him to stop, warning he will kill him if this goes on. The old man notices Kang's sword is still heavily enchanted. He asks if Kang used that power to slay the monarch, warning he cannot be